Hello and welcome. It's the night of 1,000 cars and 1,000 laps. It's qualifications for the 14th running of the great virtual race, the Daytona 500, presented by High Rev Light Workshop. I'm James Watson, joined as always by my broadcast partners, Zach Evans and Dave Huckleberry. First off, we'll come to you first, Zach, real quick. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I mean, this is kind of Christmas Eve for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series season, right? We start with qualifying, these open cars going out first to figure out who will lock into next week's Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. And then, of course, we'll go into the duels later this evening to set the rest of the 43-car field. Right now, R.C. Anderson, you see him on track. He will be our first car taking time to start qualifications here tonight, and this is where it all starts in our path towards crowning a champion for the 2026 A season.
Yes, sir. Starting as always with the crown jewel of all crown jewels here for the Belly Up Cup Series. RC is just about to wrap up his lap. First car out right now. 50 car coming off of turn 4, heading to the line, and it is a 50.476 for the 50 of R.C. Anderson.
R.C. Anderson, of course, the real life race car driver. We've seen him in the Indianapolis 500 in the real world. Also, multiple time winner here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. He will start qualifying here tonight as Tyler Popp now on track. Just to paint a picture for people tuning in tonight, 24 open cars are entered for this season's Belly Up Sports Cup Series Daytona 500. Only 3 of them will make next week's show. Basically, you have the 40 chartered cars, and then the other 3 spots in the 43 car field go to open competitors. It will be the highest open finisher in each of our 2 duels later this evening, and the fastest open competitor in this single car qualifying session. There you see a little bit of a breakdown here. Fastest open car and the top open car in each duel will make the Daytona 500. Of course, all of our open competitors are grouped together at the start of this qualifying session to give them as equal conditions as possible. Some of them will not be signing into iRacing in time to make a single lap qualifying effort. So we won't see 24 cars necessarily here during this qualifying session, but Tyler Popp moving to the top of the board with a 50.456 second lap time ahead of R.C. Anderson. So R.C., despite his accomplishments and achievements, will have to race his way into the Daytona 500.
Yes, sir. At the new quick time for Tyler Popp, and now Rob Mooney is next on track. And you know, Zach, how stressful is this going to be for our open competitors? Because you said it yourself, the margin for error is almost non-existent.
It's basically non-existent. I mean, especially with the quality of the drivers we have in this open group. We talked about R.C. Anderson, a guy who has won crown jewel events here in this Belly Up Sports Cup Series. You have a former Elite Daytona 500 winner in Andrew Rucker we will see later tonight in this open group. Not to mention, you get some of these new guys, some of the rookies. I put that in quotation marks, rookies, as Rob Mooney jumps to the top of the board with a 50.417 second lap time. One of those quote-unquote rookies to the Belly Up Sports Cup Series this season is Daniel Falkingham, and he's going to have to earn his way in just like anybody else, so it's going to be quite a task for any of these open competitors.
Yeah, you see, like you said, Rob Mooney now at the top. So far, the next person that's gone has taken over the top spot, so that really makes you start to sweat. unless you're one of the last open cars to go, you might start wondering, hey, I might have a really great shot at getting that ticket in, that golden ticket to the big show. As we see Hunter Smith, member of Little Eagle Racing, about to wrap up his lap. And it is a new quick time, 50.374 for the 51 Hunter Smith. He jumps to the top. And here's Tate Lytle. Obviously, if you followed any sort of race here at the Elite Racing Leagues, you're very familiar with this 56 car.
Absolutely one of the most successful drivers we've had here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. Another guy that's going to have to qualify his way in if he wants to take part in this show and try to earn his first Daytona 500 victory. But in fact, according to our notes, he was one of the guys we were expecting to miss qualifying this evening. Not surprising, being a West Coast competitor. A 7 o'clock Eastern start is a little bit of an early stretch for somebody like Tate Lytle, especially if he had to work this afternoon out on the West Coast, but he's made it in time, and he's going to clock in with a time of 50.374.
Yeah, new quick time, same as the old quick time. How about that? You talk about razor thin margins. It's literally going to the 4th digit for that one. That is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Here we are. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off there, Zach. On board with Jordan Owens, the next one to start his lap in the 04. But man, you got to be punching the air if you're Hunter Smith. Literally, the digit you can't see is what is keeping you out of that golden ticket spot.
And obviously, we're a long way from knowing exactly what kind of conditions we're dealing with here and whether the track is... It seems like the track is speeding up at the moment, but we'll see if maybe these open guys are just catching a good window for their time. You know, if... We've seen it in the past, though, that second fastest car is an open car. That's 2 open cars that lock out the quote-unquote front row. But again, only 1 open car locks in through qualifying. So normally, second place is locked in place, regardless of the duel results. But if it's an open car, they still have to go to their duel and try to race their way in. Jordan Owens timing in at 50.402 seconds. That's 3rd fastest so far.
Yeah, the first one of these open cars to not go fastest on his lap. And here we are, Joshua Chin taking his lap. One of the best in practically anything, especially an open wheel car, but we've seen him do really well in the stock cars, winning a couple races in the 2003 Gen 4 Cup Series here at the Elite Racing Leagues.
And of course, teamed up with Channel 199, we know all that they have accomplished here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series here in the past year, basically, and he will clock in at 50.413 seconds. That is good for 4th fastest so far.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if things are start to change a little bit here weather-wise.
Up next, we have Austin and Abnett on track into number 60.
And just looking at some of the weather conditions, we have about tailwind going down the front straightaway, about 8 miles an hour or so, up to 10 now, 11. So conditions are definitely starting to change here. As we see Austin about to complete his lap. It is P3 at a 50.402.
If Abnett's going to start his rookie cup season with a Daytona 500 appearance, he will have to do it through the duels. Here's a guy we've seen plenty on the Elite Racing Network. Mark Rebelis with Covered Bridge Racing. Photographer extraordinaire.
And running that classic Jimmy Johnson 7-time champ tribute paint to Richard and Dale. Awesome car. Though Mark is taking a bit of an interesting line there, not holding the bottom down the back straightaway, Zach.
No, he's definitely washing up a little bit more even here than we've seen a lot of other guys. There's always you see some different trains of thought when it comes to qualifying at the super speedways. I don't think anybody's going to copy that one. 50.505 slowest out of 9 cars so far. That brings us to a Leighton Norgard in car number 12.
Leighton, of course, another mainstay here in the Elite Racing Leagues. You see him in pretty much all of the leagues we have on offer. Leighton trying to get himself into the big show here. Running not quite the Mark Robilis line, but still a little bit above that yellow line down the back straightaway again. So we see Norgard off of turn 4, coming to the line. And it's gonna be new quick time at a 50.322. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but that line really seemed to work for the 12 there, Zach.
Definitely a big jump there for Leighton Norgard. The guy we've seen win in the Elite Racing Leagues, but looking for that first Elite Cup Series win, he'll move to the top of the charts here in qualifying, as now we see Sam Boutwell on track, who is normally race control for us here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series, but taking a shot at the Daytona 500 here. And we'll see how it works out in this number 47 Ford entry.
Yeah, what does the Tom Bolin Ford have? Sam coming to the line, and it's gonna be a P11 so far at a 50.509. So it looks like Sam is going to have to try to race his way into the duels.
So now, Nate Stewart will take the track in the Dead Zone Racing 67. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
I think Nick Indelcato is actually the one taking his lap right now. Yes, because Nate went after Nick. So it's the 13 of Indelcato coming off of turn 4, about to finish his lap. And the Shift Esports driver is going to put it in P9 at a 50.457.
So now we go to Nate Stewart in the Sim Wrap Market 67.
Nate Stewart, another prominent stock car driver on iRacing, we shall say. Joining another one of the many black license in stock car drivers we have in the Elite Cup Series.
It's definitely a growing trend. We saw it, with Blake Reynolds showing up ahead of the 2025 A season, and now he's our two-time defending champion. We saw Zach Novak appear last year, or last season rather.
And Nate is only going to be P10 at a 50.465. Bit of a surprise there for the 67. He will have to race his way in.
And let me tell you, it's got to be really exciting in these duels, and just to paint the picture, especially for those familiar with how it happens in the real world, it isn't quite evens in Duel 2 odds in Duel 1 like it is in real life. They kind of will juggle the lineup around ever so slightly to make sure the same number of open cars are in each duel. But still, you're talking about probably close to a dozen guys in each of those duels battling for one spot. You're going to have to be pretty close to the front of the field, if not winning your duel, to get that spot, as we see another pro driver in Daniel Falkingham on track.
Yeah, Falkingham in the 39, the best number on the grid, only somewhat biased. He's going to put it new quick time at a 50.3 flat for the 39 car. It's nice to see someone actually be quick with that number for once here in Elite. As we move to Kale Pocock in the 00. Kale, another mainstay here in the Elite Racing Leagues. Also the winner of the 03 Cup Series race here at Daytona last season. So he's shown that he knows how to get it done on these plate tracks.
Made a handful of Cup starts, over the course of last year, more so in the 2025 A season, but really just had terrible luck in all of those runs. He'll be looking for a little bit more fortune this time around, and he will qualify 5th fastest with a time of 50.382 seconds. That brings us to Kyle Hanshaw, the namesake of Kyle Hanshaw Racing in the car 46.
Sir, let's see what Hanshaw has for this one. So far, so good, coming off of turn 2. Seems that a lot of others are now starting to run that about half a car width above the yellow line.
Hanshaw has had some success in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series at Daytona, a couple of top fives, neither in the Daytona 500, though.
He's hoping to change that as he's going to put the 46 P14 at a 50.499. Moving on to Trey Eidson of Shift Esports. Trey has had a lot of success in some of the other Elite Racing League series. Of course, one of the championship for last season in the trucks, and winner of the truck opener at Daytona here. So another one that's shown prowess at this track.
Eidson looking to make the jump as a Rookie of the Year contender here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. He has raced in the Daytona 500 before, way back in 2024A. So it would not be his first start, but looking for his first full-time campaign.
P3 it looks like for the 27 at a 50.339. And here is our colleague here at the Elite Racing Network, David Westergreen, noted restrictor plate track lover.
What's he doing out there? He called in sick.
I know, right?
Yep, normally you hear him with me on Wednesday nights here in the booth on the Elite Racing Network, but once again going to try to take part in the Daytona 500 and that gold bat flip entertainment number 9 for South Shore Racing. Of course, David Westergreen also the boss over at South Shore Racing. We will see what kind of time he can put up on the board in this one-off appearance.
Sir, that gorgeous gold number 9 coming off of turn 4, heading to the line, and it's gonna be P11 for our colleague at a 50.451. So D-West will have to race his way into the duel. And here we are with Andrew Recker, former winner of the Great Virtual Race.
2020A winner of the Daytona 500 presented by Rev Limit Workshop. He is our last open car on track during this qualifying session, so we will know after this lap who is guaranteed the first open spot in next week's 500-mile race.
Sir, everyone on the edge of their seat right now, especially Daniel Falkingham. Here it is, the run off of 4 coming to the checkered, and it's gonna be not enough. P9 at a 50.406 for Andrew Recker.
So that concludes the open qualifying portion. Everybody from here on out is a charter competitor. They will race next week in the Daytona 500. They'll be looking to get into that top 2 to secure a front row starting spot next week. Otherwise, they'll be on to the duel to see where they start. Jared Rexing first on track in the Jeff Green inspired. I guess not just Jeff Green. Other guys drove that Nesquik car. Scott Riggs, among others. But, you know, familiar colors, as always, for Jared Rexing. This time with the 71 on the door and the roof.
I wish I could find someone that loves me the same way Jared Rexing loves Nesquik. Because he has that on. Because he has that on every single one of his race cars. As he comes to the checkered, it's gonna be P17 at a 50.479 for Rexing. Justin Vandermarl now up. I am not going to pronounce his name like how Chad's been typing it all night. See what the 54 has in store for us.
You shouldn't pronounce anything the way Chad typed.
Well, yeah, because then otherwise we get McTinosh. We don't want that.
Definitely don't want that. Definitely don't want that. Former Development Series champion Justin Vandermeer on track. Back in the 2025 B season, which I guess wasn't that long ago. It just feels like it at this point.
No kidding. And it's going to be P7 for Vandermarl at a 50.393. And now Ryan Borges up next. Borges nearly shoved his teammate to the win in the clash on Monday. So there's some speed in that 30 car, make no mistake.
And we'll see how much of that speed can translate during this single lap of qualifying. And, you know, we talk about, you know, those open competitors that have now finished qualifying, and you know, as we progress over the course of this season, charters will open up, guys miss races or things come up or this, that, and the other. And, you know, starting as, you know, simply starting the Daytona 500 can be a huge help towards making sure you are highest in points out of those open competitors and first in line when a charter opens up like that.
Absolutely, especially with how many do miss it. As you see, Borges puts it P13 at a 50.424. And now, here comes the champ, Blake Reynolds, making his lap, trying to see if the 66 can make it a three-peat.
You know, the competition will be stiff, but it has been 2 in a row. Year of 2025 was the year of Blake Reynolds. He kind of went through that process Daniel Falkingham is going through right now. This time 1 year ago, had to ensure he was part of the Daytona 500. Now he's locked in. He's got that charter. He's got to see if he can get car 66 near the top of the board here during this single lap qualifying run.
And here he comes, coming to the checkered. It's going to be P12 for the champ at a 50.416. Now here's Ethan Burrell. Burrell, of course, a very accomplished driver here in the Elite Racing Leagues. Making his way down the back straightaway and running pretty high above that middle seam. That's interesting.
We've definitely seen a lot of different lines during this qualifying session.
Yeah, a lot of different ways to attack this lap. And we're going to see coming to the checkered, it will be P6 for Burrell at a 50.380. A lot better than I was expecting he'd do with that line. But still just a smidge off of the top spot for the 37.
Ethan Burrell, all-time leader in career poles for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. He will not add to that tally this time around, as we see Gavin Higgins on track now in car number 20.
Someday we're going to get that man a sponsor.
I don't know if you will. I think he's pretty adamant. He likes that plain, solid black race car, and especially at the short tracks, it spends a lot of time at the front of field here in the Elite Racing League.
I painted that car. I did all 3 of his this week. I said, do you want anything different? He goes, nope.
Dave, I think this might be your finest work you've ever done.
I even asked him if he wanted his team logo on it, and he said no.
The unsponsored man coming to the line, and it's going to be P12, it looks like, at a 50.412 rather. And here comes Corey Abbott in his William White cosplay. Abbott, of course, the namesake of Abbott Motorsports.
Hoping for a little bit better luck. Really, I think he takes a better luck across the board. 2025 was pretty painful at times for whether you call him Pork Chop, whether you call him Ka-Chow, whether you just call him Corey, like I do. A man of several nicknames, but certainly not several strong finishes at Daytona or otherwise in 2025, and hopefully he'll get that turned around with a good qualifying run here tonight.
Absolutely. That's Corey making his way off of 4, bringing the 21 to the checker flag, and it will be P15 at a 50.416.
Up next, the most recent champion, not named Blake Reynolds, Justin Wadsworth, car number 6 on track in the Pro Edge racing machine. We also have Ethan Burrell here in the waiting room, so we'll go ahead and bring him up and have a chat with Mr. Burrell. First off, obviously just wrapped up your qualifying effort. What'd you think of car 37 there in qualifying?
Yeah, thanks, Zach. Yeah, I felt pretty good. I feel like I did everything right, pretty consistent with what I'd done in the past and my pole runs, and just didn't quite get enough out of it. I don't know how the wind was working or not, but I felt good. I'm excited, man. It's fun to be back. I figured why not hop in here and see what you guys got going on.
Right now we're just watching some cars drive in circles. Justin Wadsworth about to cross the line. We'll see what kind of time the former series champion can put up on the board here. 50.400 is good for 9th fastest.
Not bad. Hey, that's a cool guy. I think he drives for the coolest team out here, honestly.
Oh, all right. So we've got some propaganda already infiltrating. That's good.
The nerve of these guys, Zach.
I know. You give an inch, they take a mile. Race car drivers, I
Yep.
swear.
Right.
What's Crump got going on? That is an interesting paint scheme right there.
You know,
It's a car 3 paint, sir.
Very cool story,
Oh.
actually. Yes, it's kind of one that it's one of the, I guess you could say, a minor character. Yeah, but you know how it is with the Cars universe. They all get die casts and the toy cars or whatever that you can buy at the store, and this is one that his son has become rather infatuated with, and it works because they're both car number 90. So that has been
nice.
kind of the inspiration. Yeah, it's actually a really cool story.
How about that? Yeah, that's cool.
And Scott Crump's got to take that car number 90 and 19th. 19th. So not quite the qualifying effort Scott Crump would have been looking for at 50.44 seconds. But he's got that charter to lean on. He'll be a threat in the duels for sure. As now we move on to Harrison Talon, a fan favorite for sure in car number 8.
Oh yeah, and I think Harrison's gonna surprise some people. I think this week, just this season in general. I think he's gonna find that potential that he's had for so long. I just feel it. Might even start tonight.
And when he finally does, I tell you, it's going to be a popular moment when it happens, because Harry is so beloved here in the Elite Racing Leagues. I think all of us are going to go absolutely wild when he gets that first win.
I don't know. I'm
As
still
he-
mad at him for killing me that one time at Dover. I'm kidding.
Oh, and new quick
no!
time! Harrison Talon to the top of the
I'm a
chart
wizard.
at a 50.288. Unbelievable! The first man in the twos.
That
How
man's a
about
rocket.
Harry?
You called it, Ethan.
I just, I had a feeling. I thought it might have just been indigestion, but it worked out. The feeling was real.
Oh,
What-
man.
yeah, what you thought might have been too much dominoes is actually a prediction. How about that?
That's right. That is right. Well, I'll go ahead and hop out of here. Shout out Pro Edge Racing. Shout out Harry. Even if someone jumps him eventually, that lap was still really cool. Counts in my heart. You guys have fun up here.
Absolutely. You do the same. Good luck in your duel tonight, Ethan.
Thank you.
So that was Ethan Burrell. You'll see him later tonight in our duels in preparation for the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. On track, we go from car 8 to car 88. This is Kurt Gibson out of the Fueled Up Racing Stable. He will cross the line here and clock in way down the board. 30th. 50.555 seconds. We move on to Michael Hossick. He has chimed in on the YouTube chat. Said welcome back before he climbed into card 24. If you're watching, say hello. Let us know who you're rooting for to start the 2026A Belly Up Sports Cup Series season. Let us know what you're watching for tonight here on the Elite Racing Network. Where you're watching from, all that good stuff.
As we a little bit of confusion on the racetrack now, but no effect to Hossick as he's making his way through 3 and 4 right now.
Did we have another no versus go situation?
We had
Forgot to come off track.
Yeah,
Oh, it's one lap. You get one time lap.
and at the end of the time lap, it's gonna be P5 for Hossick at a 50.352. Great run for the 24. Now we move to the Huck-sponsored 01 of Ryan Gable.
Ryan Gable carrying that familiar black and gold 01 with the Huck sponsorship for several seasons. Now, how far back has it been since you first started putting your logo on that car, Dave?
I think this is our 4th season, and I ask him every year if he wants anything new, and he goes, run it back. So, of course, before that, he had a plain black car with a dribbled on 01. So.
and the Go Ryan.
And the
yes.
Go Ryan on the bumper, yeah.
We'll see if Ryan can go to the top of the board here. Former winner Usually one to watch on the road courses, can mix it up on some of the speedways as well. Was in contention in our finale last season until he was in a wreck while battling for the lead. It's not.
Only
that tells
20
me 20
second.
seconds. Yep. 50.441. Josh Adams is going on track now, but I see in the waiting room one Harrison Talon, so we definitely want to pull him up while he is top of the board at the moment. Harrison Talon, fastest man Daytona at the moment. How does it feel?
Yeah, feels very good. Yeah, definitely. We brought a great Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. I'm really excited about this car. Paint job looks good. So to be fastest so far, first one's in the 2.2 second range. That's definitely good. So very happy about it so far.
I thought I was hallucinating.
Oh man, I thought I was too. My Discord was going crazy. They were not expecting that at all. I mean, neither was I. So.
Well, I'll tell you one guy who was expecting it was Ethan Burrell. He was up here, and while you went on track, he said, watch out for that 8 car this week, and then you went top of the board. Josh Adams now third fastest at 50.319. What have you done to get kind of prepared for this speed weeks and be able to put yourself in a position where you're obviously going to be near the front, if not at the front, for your duel, and maybe leading the field to the green flag next Wednesday?
I mean, I think there was a practice on Monday that Chad put up, and there was, I think, only about like 5, 6, maybe 7 people in it, maybe 8. I'm not gonna do that meme.
Thank you.
We've dodged it twice so far. We're doing great.
Yeah, we're gonna go with 8. Yeah, but we just took advantage and just kept making Q runs and stuff, trying to perfect the lines, where we needed to run, what really the best kind of plane of attack was. So I'm sure that helps. Obviously, I'm seeing a lot of the win ratings in this qualifying so far. We've been following it. It's jumping really high at some points. It can gust pretty heavily at some points. So I'm sure that also can definitely have played a factor in my lap and some of the laps as well. But I mean, you're seeing some of the usual faces. Josh Adams, who's one of the best qualifiers at late tracks, he's still at the top of the charts basically. So yeah, very happy so far. Hopefully it holds. That would be really cool. And it would give it wouldn't give Chad an excuse to not put in the flash next year.
That's what I'm talking about. Gavin Hibbs, 7th fastest, 50.355. Britt Jones on track now. Before we let you go, Harrison, who do you have to thank on this effort so far?
Gosh, got to thank the guys all the way back in the Discord, the Pro Edge guys, the Field Up guys. Those guys are always so helpful. Always, they always got your back. They're always gonna, give you criticism, but it's the criticism that you need. It's not going to be the one that's unwarranted. So it's always, we're always helping each other. Always, get better as a group. And it's hopefully going to show here this season. So far, looks pretty good. From at least my end, we'll see how the others do. Hopefully they could get up to the front as well. But yeah, thank the guys, thank the sponsors, thank Justin for painting all my cars. He's an absolute legend. So yeah, thank you guys as well.
All right, there you have it, Harrison Talon. We'll see if that time can hold up. Best of luck the rest of the night, Harry.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
While that was wrapping up, we had Britt Jones, 31st fastest, 50.490 seconds. Tyler Fody on track now. Interesting story with Fody this season as he'll qualify 8th fastest, 50.365. Obviously a former Cup Series champion, has announced he will not run full-time in our stock car series this season. Got to focus on the IndyCar and sports car side here in Elite, but still has that charter until he misses enough races to lose it. And he's got to take advantage of that at least this week to ensure a spot in the Daytona 500, qualifying 8th fastest so far. That brings us to Trey Holmes on track. We also have Gavin Hibbs in the waiting room. So we will go ahead and grab a word with Mr. Hibbs here, who is currently 7th fastest in qualifying for next week's Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500. Gavin, what do you think of the car so far as we go through qualifying and duel night here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series?
It felt pretty good throughout the run. You know, had to make some, obviously, the small adjustments that we can make to make me feel a little bit more comfortable running in a straight line. But I was usually my track record at qualifying at these types of tracks not very good. So to see put it up to 7th on the board right now, it's a pretty good sight to see.
For sure. Obviously, having the charter helps, but still qualifying at Daytona and going through the whole process of the duels can be so nerve-wracking. What's kind of the game plan for you going into the 60-lapper, whichever one you happen to be in later tonight?
Usually my goal is just to survive, because usually when it comes to the duels, you know, up until last season, you know, I've been wrecked out in every duel race, so that results in starting way back in the field, and so just trying to survive is one thing. We're there at the end. Hopefully we can try and finish pretty good to make sure that we're starting in the front half of the field, but you know, also trying to get one of our open cars for field up in the 500. You know, Jordan is, odds are against him with how stacked the open field is, but I feel like if we can give Jordan the help that he needs, I feel like it'd be a big accomplishment getting all 6 field up cars in the 500.
Well, certainly we'll see if you are able to pull that off. One of those field up racing cars on track right now, Jesse Racimas in the 80. Before we let you go, Gavin, who do you have to thank on this effort this season?
Obviously field up racing, you know, once back again, not changing teams this time, so you know, glad to be aboard of field up racing once again. Numbers by Joe, Next Level Racing, Racecraft Academy, just all those guys, especially working with Field Up and Pro Edge this year.
All right. Well, best of luck in your duel and moving forward this season, Gavin.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's Gavin Hibbs. We've had 3 cars go out during qualifying during that interview. Trey Holmes clocked in at 15th at 50.401 seconds. Jesse Racimas, you just saw him out there. He was 24th fastest at 50.417. Michael Goodman will now be 36 with a time of 50.504. Garrison Hogan on track now, James.
Yep, running a little more of that middle line down the back straightaway. We've seen it work for quite a few people now, so we'll see how that's going to work for the 55. It's Garrison making his way off turn 4. Bringing that channel 199 car to the checkered, and it's going to be little down the order, 13th at a 50.385. Solid run for Hogan. As here comes Ethan Stanley. Obviously, we know that this 91 car is no stranger to the front, Zach.
Absolutely a champion in our Grand National Series, in our Truck Series, in the one-off SRX Series we did a couple of years ago, but still looking for that first Belly Up Sports Cup Series championship. We'll see if maybe 2026A is the year that happens.
Yeah, bit of a surprise to hear that. As we see Stanley about to finish his qualifying run.
12th fastest.
At a 50.381. And here's Ty McIntosh, another one of our colleagues here at the Elite Racing Network.
You usually hear him on Tuesday nights here on the Elite Racing Network with the Rev Limit Workshop Development Series. part of the call last night during the Daytona 200, won by Jimmy Hayden.
To this day, I'm still wrecking.
It's better than flying. Don't ask me how I know.
I know exactly how you know. Obligatory, you hate to see it.
Absolutely hate to see it.
As we see Ty bring it to the line. And 21st at a 50.410 for the number 10.
Here's another guy you know is going to be in the championship contention, has been the last 2 seasons. Jonathan Cutlip, the Fueled Up Racing number 5, on track now.
Yeah, and we know that Cutlip also knows how to get it done at these plate races. So this Dayglow number 5 is going to be one to watch. And Lord knows for that color, you can't take your eyes off of that car.
Swept the 2025 championships in the Grand National Series.
And here comes the 5 to the line. It's going to be 32nd at a 50.452. Not what we expected from Jonathan Cutlip. That's surprising there, Zach.
It is. It's awfully surprising, but obviously we've talked about how stacked this field is. You know, you're going to have 60-some guys trying to take part in next week's Daytona 500. What the next one on track as we continue qualifying for our chartered competitors. Ray Bracey, affectionately known as Bojo, as you see on the hood and the quarter panels, alongside his feline friend Pushkin on car number 7.
Yes, sir. The Catman, the king of quick shifts, is making his way to the end of his lap. Where is the 7 going to end up? Run to the checkered. It will be T5 at a 50.322 for Bojo. What a lap. Wow.
He's going to be very happy with that qualifying effort for sure. That's got to put him near the front of whichever duel he happens to fall in. Next up, Seth Rawls, car number 25. Taylor Digital Solutions once again on board that Shift Esports entry.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a single different sponsor on that 25 car in all the years I've been racing with Seth.
And that's a cool partnership. I'd love to mention some of these sponsors when we get the chance. Of course, that's one does a lot of support in both the digital and real life racing world, and has connections to the boss over there, Taylor Digital Solutions, a former short track racer. So always cool to see them involved. 32nd fastest for Seth Rawls, 50.445 seconds. That will bring us to Caleb Pecumer. You see Solo, of course, on board that one. Title sponsor of our sports car series, which competes on Saturdays throughout the year. Not on a weekly basis, naturally, because of the longer races and having to kind of play dodgeball around iRacing special events calendars throughout the year, but definitely one of the growing series here in the Elite Racing League.
Absolutely. And speaking of growing, the good results for Caleb Pecumer have been growing as of late. He has been putting in some incredible results, making the championship 4 in the trucks last season, dominating the development series. Caleb is on a heater, and his heater tonight going to be 29th at a 50.418. So not quite the lap Caleb was looking for. As we see another one of the South Shore cars, Daniel Gore in the Danny G paint.
Daniel
Gore.
Gore, go ahead.
I think we're about to talk about the same thing. He was Rookie of the Year last season, I do believe, correct?
That is absolutely correct. Made the playoffs, made Rookie of the Year. Definitely made a fast impression here in the Elite Racing League, making the jump over here last season, but he wasn't satisfied. He wants more. He wants to contend for wins and be in that championship conversation. We will see if he makes that step this season. That effort starts obviously right here with the Daytona 500. Daniel Gore will clock in 9th fastest.
Heck of a lot for Gore at a 50.362. South Shore cars have got some speed with 2 of them in the top 10 so far. And here's our benevolent overlord, Chad Frankenfield, in his familiar 15.
Winner of the inaugural Belly Up Sports Cup Series Daytona 500 back in 2019. Looking to add to that collection this season. And if he does, it would end a triple-digit winless drought here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. We will see what kind of time Chad Frankenfield can put down here in car 15.
Yeah, that's a wild stat to hear as Chad crosses the line. 13th at a 50.374 for Frankenfield. And here's Paul Mikolajczyk.
Paul Mikolajczyk, obviously somebody, even before he joined us over here in Elite, that James has a lot of familiarity with from the off-road scene. Don't let that put you to sleep, though. He's proven he's pretty capable at the pavement oval stuff here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series, even if everybody has to ask how to say and or spell his last name. And if you do, he just says, just call me bunch of letters.
Yes, sir, a bunch of letters, but we'll see if he has a bunch of speed as he's making his way through 3 and 4 here. Off of the corner, coming to the line. Paul will put it at P10. Great run for Mikolajczyk. P10 at a 50.365 for the 77. And here is the reigning Daytona 500 winner and the winner of the Clash the other night, Matthew Weeks. Matt trying to go back-to-back here in the great virtual race.
When it comes to the full distance races here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series, you always have to keep an eye on Matthew Weeks. A 3-time Daytona 500 winner, including that 2025 B victory, a 6-time winner in the full distance races. He will be looking for another big win next Wednesday. Where will he start? That process begins now.
Yes, sir, coming to the line. Mr. Where in the heck did he come from? He's going to put that 11 car 34th. That is not what we were expecting. 50.425. But we know that Weeks really likes to fly under the radar for the good bit of these full distance races, Zach. He's gonna be just fine.
Oh yeah, there's nothing to worry about, I'm sure. He might even prefer being a little further back in his duel and trying to stay out of the carnage that we might see, depending on how all that shakes out. Now on track, of course, Jaden Racimus. Earlier tonight, you saw Jesse Racimus. This is son Jaden in car number 1 for Abbott Motorsports. And the young fella has been slowly but steadily improving in his time during Elite. We'll see if he can take some more steps forward here in 2026.
Yes, sir. And Jaden about to wrap up his qualifying lap. The one will put it 15th, it looks like.
15th will be the place for now for Jaden Racimus. That will give him bragging rights over Father Jesse at 50.374 seconds. And here comes Gerald Campbell, who he might be, I believe he is our last qualifier of the evening in that car 31 for Do Good Motorsports.
Yes, sir, in his beautiful bald eagle paint. Gerald, of course, calls it Beak Lightning. Go Beak Lightning, running down the 2.5 mile. Beak Lightning, go Beak Lightning.
Don't quit your day job, James.
I apologize for nothing, Zach.
Two-time Belly Up Sports Cup Series champion Gerald Campbell making his way through turns 3 and 4. We'll see if the Beak Lightning can bolt his way to the top of the board. I don't know. I don't feel good about any of this.
Hey, I'm the one who makes the bad puns around here. Anyways, Beak Lightning is 48th at a 50.503, which means Harrison Talon is the pole sitter for the 14th annual Great Virtual Race. The Daytona 500 will be led by Harry, and Daniel Falkingham, our best open car, will join him on the front row.
He will join him on the front row. He will be locked in to next week's Daytona 500. So congratulations to both of those drivers. We know they will start first and second next week. Everybody else is going to go into these duels and find out either where they start or if they're starting at all, if they're one of those open competitors. So just to peel the curtain back here a little bit, obviously we have to now kind of set up the lineups. As I mentioned during the qualifying session, it's not a quite 1-to-1. It's not odds will start in the first and evens will start in the second like in real life. We try to at least make sure there are the same number of open cars in each duel, and then they fill in the charter cars appropriately. So that's got to take a little bit of time, and then of course you have to manually set all of that up in iRacing. So we'll have some moving pictures and some ads to play here as we get ready for the next step. But before we jump into the ads, while we've got the static screens playing here, we do have Harrison Talon back in the waiting room. So let's grab one word with him real quick. Obviously, we've already spoken to him and gotten the shout-outs and everything, but we would be remiss if we didn't officially congratulate Harrison Talon. You will start on the pole next week in the Daytona 500 presented by Rev Limit Workshop. How exciting is that for you?
Gosh, that's surreal, to be honest. I was not expecting that at all entering today. Knew we brought a fast piece, but yeah, the racing gods were with us today, and thankfully the number 8 Chevrolet is going to lead the way next week. So I'm so happy about it, and yeah, it's a great feeling.
All right, so obviously now you know you don't have to worry about you don't have that pressure going into the duel. Get to kind of like you mentioned, work on whatever other teammates or whatever the case may be for the duel. What's kind of game plan here for the 60 lapper?
Yeah, I think obviously I want to lead the first lap probably. I think that's gonna that always feels good. But after that, we're just gonna see how it plays out. Obviously, don't have to worry about starting position at this point, which is very nice. Um, but we also see if we have any teammates in the duel who need to get in. So we'll see how these duels play out, who's in which one. But yeah, if there's any teammates, and I'm always there to help. So
All right, well, we'll let you go. Get ready for that duel. Congratulations again, Harry, and we'll see you leading the field to the green next Wednesday.
thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.
All right, so that's Harrison Talon. And we'll take this opportunity here to get in a quick ad break, and we'll get you update on duel status on the other side.
continue to wait out our little warm-up period before we see everyone take the grid. How much time do we have left in this warm-up? I can't quite see.
Well, the timer.
Ah, perfect.
So we're about a minute away from looking at a starting lineup and getting ready to go green flag racing here in duel number 1.
So far, the fastest in the warm-up session is Kurt Gibson. And then we got Hogan, Stewart, Ray Bracey, and Blake Reynolds sitting in the top 5 speed right now. Everyone's still turning laps, trying to get as much experience as they can.
And it's quite a shift in perspective and approach. You spend so much time doing single car lap after single car lap after single car lap to prepare for that one lap of qualifying, and now that's over. And if you weren't one of those top guys, really all that work has simply determined where you're starting in either this duel or the next one, and now it's time to go to work on, okay, what is this car going to do in a pack? What is this car going to do when I'm bump drafted? What is it going to do when I'm delivering the bump draft, as we see that bump draft go wrong and see the triangle there on screen right at the end of the warm-up session? But I believe it is time, and hopefully we'll be able to take a look at a starting lineup here.
Yes, sir. Your starting lineup for duel number 1. Harrison Talon in the 8 and a Leighton Norgard in the 12 on row 1. Row 2 will feature the 7 of Ray Bracey and the 95 of Gavin Hibbs. Row 3, the 40 of Tyler Fody and the 51 of Hunter Smith. Row 4 has 56 of Tate Lytle and the 15 of Chad Frankenfield. Rounding out the top 10 is the 37 of Ethan Burrell and the 55 of Garrison Hogan. Take it away, Zach, for the next 10.
Here we go. Starting 11th will be former series champion Justin Wadsworth. 12th will be former Daytona 500 winner Andrew Rucker. On row 7, Ty McIntosh will start alongside 2025 A and B Cup Series champion Blake Reynolds. On to the 8th row, Rob Mooney, a 500 only hopeful. Got to try to race his way into the show alongside Jesse Racimus in car 80. Looking at row 9, Ryan Borges in the 30 for SR Racing. He'll be alongside Scott Crump in the Lake Norman Motorsports number 90. And on row 10, Seth Rawls will start alongside Tyler Pop.
And row 11, we have the 67 of Nate Stewart and the 50 of R.C. Anderson. Row 12 is the 71 of Jared Rexing and the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw. Row 13, 31 of Gerald Campbell and Meek Lightning next to the 47 of Sam Boutwell. Kurt Gibson in the 88 and Connor Thompson-Gardner in the 03.
And I believe that's it for a 28-car field here for duel number 1.
It sure is. We are making our way down the back straightaway. Gonna get ready for the start. Calm before the storm.
There you see Harrison Talon, 40 Raceware Pole Award winner for next week's Daytona 500. He will lead the field to green here in duel number 1.
Sir, it's an incredible moment for Harry. We're going to see how long it takes for these open cars to get aggressive and get their way up to the front. As we see the pace car getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. And the 8 of Harrison Talon will lead us to the restart zone. Green means go. We are underway for duel number 1. Man, it did not look like Harrison got a good jump there on the initial start.
He mentioned he was hoping to lead lap number 1. If he's going to do so, he's going to need a pretty hefty push here from Ray Bracey in car number 7. We'll see if that happens or not. Some of the chatter I heard leading into tonight was that it's going to be pretty top dominant with the platform that we have this season, but we'll see what actually plays out. Right now it's Gavin Hibbs dropping to the bottom with Hunter Smith in tow, and they're going to get out to the front.
Yeah, Harrison's fallen down to 3rd on the inside lane. It's going to be Ethan Burrell who will lead lap 1 of Duel 1. Yeah, I was actually worried for Norgard that he might get a black flag just because Harrison got a forward jump. Oh, little wiggly. Speaking of Norgard, that 12 car did not like that push he was getting from Chad going through turn 2.
And that's where certainly part of this is learning how will the car handle those pushes through the corners, but at the same time, lap 2 of a 60-lap duel, don't know if you necessarily want to see that level of aggression in your rearview mirror. Leighton Norgard jumping down to the bottom and going to let Chad Frankenfield lead that outside lane.
Yeah, it was a good enough shove from the 15 to push him to the lead, have him drop down to the inside, but now Chad doing the same. Oh, there's contact! Oh, it's a huge one! We're already wrecking! Frankenfield, Norgard, Hibbs! Oh my god, half the field is gone! I think more than half!
No, that's Rucker!
Yeah,
Rucker just lost it
lost
after
on
he
his
did the
own.
wreck.
What on earth happened?
Oh. And what a disappointment. I'm sure they're going to be, we'll have to take a look at the replay, but I'm sure there were several open competitors who now have damage or were involved in that incident. We'll take a look here at the replay.
And-
Chad Frankenfield hit the apron. Chad Frankenfield hit the apron in front of the whole field.
Oh!
And there you see,
Boy.
even Rucker, actually, he didn't get away from it per se. He had the damage on the right rear there. I think he's got to hit the transition as well, and he's already a little bit out of shape.
Yeah,
No, he never even made it to the transition. It was still, he was still fighting it all the way.
Yeah, because I think he annihilated that tolling because you saw the 84 go right up into the wall. So I don't think that was Redker losing on him on his own after that. That was just him dealing with that severely hurt car.
Absolutely. And there you see Norgard up the hill. Harrison might have gotten away with just minimal damage there. Tyler Fody completely out of shape. How does Ray Bracey hang on to that? He does. That's impressive. There you see Tyler pop sliding in.
We also got to look at Hunter Smith. Hunter made it through that, and I have no clue how. Also, Chad's explanation is just digging that hole deeper and deeper and deeper. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! How in the world is that 51 car still in one piece?
He got touched by 7 cars.
Yeah.
And then he also has to miss Rucker. That is incredible. Hunter Smith already with the wreck avoidance of the season. And this is literally the first wreck we've had all season. Not counting Monday. Wadsworth. Oh, he almost made it through, but hand shot sliding down the track. Let's see. Sam Boutwell. Sam comes to a stop and looks like he seems to be good.
Yeah, it looks like he kept it out of harm's way. Now, one thing I'm seeing is I'm keeping an eye on timing and scoring here. It looks like pretty much everybody came down pit road for at least a splash of fuel, except for Sam Boutwell.
Yeah, our normal race control man out there in P1 right now.
Now, obviously, track position move for him. He was able to stay out of harm's way, not get any damage. He's got to try and take advantage of this and get out front as an open competitor, trying to race his way into the Daytona 500. We'll see if that pays off for him. I imagine a lot of guys were looking at this as an opportunity, even with just a couple of laps, to add some fuel and try to extend their window here if we get a long green flag run, but certainly quite a shakeup to the start of this first duel. Before we go back green here, maybe a quick ad break to celebrate one of our sponsors here on the Elite Racing Network.
Tickets are on sale now for the 10th Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Sunday, June 7th features 3 huge races. The USAC Classic, Firestone Indy next, and the only Sunday night prime time NTT IndyCar Series race. Enjoy a weekend of cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. The stars of the Indy 500 are coming to St. Louis.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
All right.
Alrighty, we are back and we are 1 to green. And so the official report per D West is Chad's cat knocked over coffee by his pedals, and that's why he hit the apron. It's a shame that Chad doesn't have a door to his sim room, because I'm very grateful for my door so I can keep my Chaos Gremlins from doing similar things to my room while I'm driving.
Permission to have a hot take, no pun intended, with the coffee. This is why dogs are better.
Banned. You're banned.
I work here. You can't ban me.
I work here too.
So do I.
How that changes things, I don't know.
I'm not banning any of you. I
Fire me,
need you.
quit. Nevertheless, what this has done is shaken up the lineup. You see open car Sam Boutwell choosing the outside for this restart. Nate Stewart's another open car that's going to be restarting 4th. Rob Mooney, 5th, is an open car. Yeah, so we'll see how this all shakes out here as we get ready to go back green.
And one more thing to add. All I have to say is Pushkin would never.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
As we
Give it
see
time.
the pace car making the hard left-hand turn on the pit road, Sam Boutwell will lead us to the restart zone. Green means go, and we are back underway at Daytona. Can you see a little bit of the okie dokie here? As Sam's going to drop down in front of his South Shore teammate.
One would think.
Yeah.
He never did. He got way too far out front for that.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Tyler Fody to join him.
It sure did.
So now, unfortunately, Sam does not have that rear gunner behind him. Although he does have loose teammate and friend Rob Mooney leading that outside lane, what remains of it. We got a bit of a checkup going into the corner. That's going to cause some issues for that inside lane. Thankfully, everyone gets through clean. No more calamity so far. But that is terrifying if you have to deal with any sort of checkup going into the corner there, Zach.
It sure is. And, especially with somebody like Tyler Fody behind you, he's got kind of the best of both worlds for this duel and for next weekend, the Daytona 500. He has a charter, so he doesn't have to race his way in. But he's already established, you know, his intention is not to run the full season here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series this season. He's going to focus on the Crown Jewel races and going full-time in the IndyCar Series on Thursday night, P1 Broadcasting Elite IndyCar Series. So he kind of doesn't, he's kind of just playing with house money tonight and next Wednesday, right? So he's got to give some pretty forceful pushes if you can hold him.
Absolutely. Nothing to play for Fody but a checker flag. You see the outside lane trying to get that energy built back up once again. Rexing is giving some crazy pushes to the 84 Rob Mooney. Oh, it looks like that's going to jumble up that outside. We got a little bit of 3 wide here as Rexing jumped to the outside of Mooney. And now it's going to be Seth Rawls pushing the 84. A little bit of nervous times here in that middle lane as you see Ty McIntosh jump out of line right in front of his also pseudo teammate of Rob Mooney. Let's see what these two Fords can do. If they can get their way back up to that 47 car. As Boutwell continues to lead, and oh, Jared Rexing made a little bit of contact with the wall, or at least came very, very, very close to hitting that wall. Meanwhile, it looks like Andrew Rucker has left the building, so the former winner will unfortunately not be adding another virtual Harley J. Earl to his collection. Unfortunate for Andrew Rucker.
Definitely a tough break for Andrew Rucker, getting tangled up in that early incident. Took a hiatus from the Cup Series, but is looking to return here in 2026A. That return will have to wait at least 1 week.
So far, still no major change. That outside is still trying to chug along here, but no real threat to those up front. So we are single file up to P6 right now.
Now here's one thing, not that I should ever question Sam Boutwell when it comes to super speedway racing, because he's better at it than I am. But I do have to wonder, obviously he stayed out when everybody else pitted for at least a splash of fuel there to get the track position and get out front. But now he's been pretty content to just lead this train the entire time, and I have to wonder, how much of a difference is that going to make on the fuel mileage when we get to what I would have to assume is a potential green flag pit stop if we don't get a caution? It's going to be several laps difference for him, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really run too many laps under green. That wreck happened pretty quickly in this race.
For sure.
So it's not going to be too much of a difference, but it's going to be a difference. That's why you saw everyone that wasn't involved in that wreck come down and take a little splash, because obviously you're not taking tires here at Daytona. Tires don't matter. So the less fuel you have to take, the quicker that pit stop is going to be, and the better your track position is going to be when you make it off of pit road. So that is going to hurt this 47 car when he does make that stop. He's going to lose a lot of track position. As we see a whole lot of changing up at the front. Now it's Tyler Fody and Nate Stewart up at the front. That outside lane, it finally got going, and boy did it go. Now Tyler Fody is going to lead his first lap. We got purple cars 1, 2, 3 with Fody, Stewart, and Ty McIntosh, who's joined the fray. Whoa, super close between Campbell and Rob Mooney going into turn 1. That was almost disaster once again, but we stayed clean, we stayed green. But another push into the back of that 84 is getting Mooney loose. But once again, we are still okay for now. The third lane starting to fall apart because that Hogan trying to push Mooney as best as he can. Meanwhile, Fody is taking over the lead of the inside, and now Ty McIntosh leading the outside. Ty getting a good shove from Campbell, but it's not going to be enough to get him to the front of this and lead this lap. But McIntosh is able to put himself in a good position for now. We see orange denoting our open cars and who you have to keep an eye on to see who's going to be racing next Wednesday. So far, that lead open car is the 67 of Nate Stewart sitting in P2 with Sam Boutwell right there behind.
Oh, trouble!
There's contact! Ray Bracey and Borges! Borges hard into the inside wall, and the caution is out now. How big of a wreck is this gonna be? Oh, bad bump from McIntosh into Bracey. South Shore on South Shore violence. As you see, looks like Rexing up into the wall. Into Racimus.
Yep.
And then another car spin, and let's see what happens after this.
So you're going to see a couple of different incidents here, I believe. You're going to see first, they're going to stack up here, and that's going to upset Jared Rexing into Racimus. And then also Ray Bracey is going to get tagged by Tyler Popp, which turns him into, that might have been Kurt Gibson. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
first race of the season, trying to learn some of these cars on the fly with the new look for the new season. But I believe that is Kurt Gibson. Ethan Burrell just barely getting by him as he slid down the banking in the tri-oval. And so, yeah, that's going to be, saw a couple of different things happening there. For the sake of my clarification, because I see it has already come up in the chat as well, but my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that at the super speedways, the race control still has the ability to, I mean, I think the yellow would have probably come out anyway right there with the 88 car, but we do have the ability to throw a manual yellow here, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I'm not sure which one that was, but I think we would have gotten the caution either way once the 88 was spinning on track. As you see, everybody to pit road. That takes care of my concerns with Sam Boutwell's. I'm kind of curious. This might, I don't know what the fuel number is. I don't know if that puts us in the window or not, but you see everybody on pit road here.
I don't think we are going to be in the window. I think we might be a few laps short, maybe at most 10, because I think fuel run might be around 30 plus laps. I think at any rate. Obviously, we don't know for certain, so all we can do and all we're going to do is endlessly speculate.
Well, yeah, obviously. I've sent out a feeling. We'll see what numbers I get back. But nevertheless, Tyler Fody winning the race off pit road. Nate Stewart second. Hunter Smith third. Gerald Campbell fourth. Sam Boutwell fifth. Let's take this quick opportunity. Work in another ad break. We'll be back for the restart.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal, heck of a deal.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Tickets are on sale now for the 10th Bomarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Sunday, June 7th features 3 huge races. The USAC Classic, Firestone Indy next, and the only Sunday night prime time NTT IndyCar Series race. Enjoy a weekend of cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. The stars of the Indy 500 are coming to St. Louis. Get your tickets now and save big at www.raceway.com.
Alrighty, we are back, and we are 1 to green. And just to finish up what we were talking about earlier, it really didn't seem like the fuel call messed Boutwell up all that much. You see, he was still able to come off of pit road in P5.
Yeah, I think that caution worked out very well for him to kind of get back on relatively level playing field with the rest of these cars. Obviously, he lost a couple of spots there, but not too bad. He'll stay right there at the front. That call to stay out last caution works out beautifully.
Absolutely, as we see the pace car getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Tyler Fody will lead us to the restart zone. Green means go. We are back underway at Daytona. Great restart by Stewart to stay alongside Tyler Fody. Don't typically see that non-control lane launch with the lead car all that well, but look at that. Stewart's now going to look to take the lead off of a great shove from Campbell and Wadsworth. Pushing the pusher. You never want to do that, but it's working out great right now.
It's working out great. We saw a little bit of a blink there from Sam Boutwell in that inside lane as well.
As we see both Stewart and Wadsworth jump down to the bottom. Campbell stays out in front of the outside lane as here comes Harrison Talon, the pole sitter, back up towards the front, holding on to second place in that outside. Right now, the outside is starting to bleed a lot of energy, a lot of wiggling, and it looks like it's costing them some speed. Not sure if the bumps just aren't good enough. They're starting to fall back. Meanwhile, Wadsworth is absolutely shoving Nate Stewart down the back straightaway. I don't think you can put a piece of paper between these two Camrys.
And why would you want to?
I mean, hey, it'd be an experiment on how many straightaways they can go before the engine completely explodes.
Well, that's definitely something you have to watch out for with these pushes, obviously. You know, a lot of things that are replicated in iRacing you see from the real world, and if you are too aggressive with those pushes and keep that nose and that grill opening sealed off, you can see those oil temperatures and water temperatures rise, and that's something they're going to have to keep an eye on with those bump drafts here for sure.
Yeah, that was a massive thing you had to worry about in yesterday's development series race. Could only be connected completely for about a full lap before you were in the red and having to move up to get some air on the nose. I typically don't hear it be as much of an issue for these next-gen cars as some of the other stock cars like the ARCA car, the O'Reilly Series car, and so on and so forth. So I think Gerald got a little loose coming off of turn 2. I don't know if he got loose or if it was a big push from Talon. But speaking of big push, Wadsworth jumped out to the top, got a big shove from Gerald. Now he's in the lead. But now he dropped down to the bottom, and Gerald's going to be out in front of the outside again. And Beak Lightning is going to lead this lap. He drops down to the bottom. He just barely had enough room to pull that move off as here comes Harry.
Harrison Talon, the green number in the scoring pylon, the pole winner from earlier tonight, trying to add a dual win as well, leading that outside lane with Scott Crump and Rob Mooney in tow.
Yes, sir. He doesn't have a thing to worry about. He's going to be leading the field to green no matter what. I think at any rate. I'm not sure if
I
he's...
think it's fit within 6 laps of the leaders. But
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. So as long as he can get to lap 56, he'll be good. Not counting any green white checkers.
wait, hold on,
54.
hold on.
54.
Hold on. I know I'm the person that says we don't do math here. You gotta know what 60 minus 6 is.
What? I didn't say it was the exact number.
But he
Obviously,
did say if he
you're
gets to 56, he'll be fine, and that's true.
Exactly. That's what I meant. Because he doesn't have to worry about any math at that point because it's 5 laps. I may be stupid, but I'm not dumb, thank you very much. Meanwhile, in the middle of that, Scott Crump is now to the front. The star of Cars 3 is going to be leading this lap. As we see it almost feels like a bit of a conveyor belt in a way, where someone gets a good run and push on the outside, they jump down to take the lead, and then the next car leading the outside. Oh, we got contact! We're not wrecking yet, but that was close. Don't know what happened. We nearly got caution number 3 there.
I believe that was Tyler Foden we saw on the apron. I can't believe I'm saying this after spending all of 2025B complaining about every car being red and black, but we have too many purple cars in this studio. I'm pretty sure that was Tyler Foden on the apron. Thanks for the fewer red and black cars this season, guys. I do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Here he's blinking.
It's a blink from the pole sitter. That's not what you want to see if you're anyone watching along. I think that blink might have spooked those in the outside. It's starting to lose that energy.
And that's a tough spot, especially for Rob Mooney on that outside lane, because, yeah, we're not even halfway, but you're kind of already getting the idea that you're going to have to battle that 67 car in particular of Nate Stewart if you're going to be a part of next week's Daytona 500, which means you're kind of in a tough spot right now, trapped in the outside behind Harrison Talon, but following Nate Stewart isn't going to get you in front of Nate Stewart either, so already you're starting to think about how am I going to make this work?
Yeah, that's the thing, is you always have to plan. Figure out what you're going to do, where you're going to go, and where you can go. But at the same time, plans are useless here at Daytona, as you know, Zach. Because anything and everything can and will happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know what they say, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Or in this case, right hooked into the outside wall.
Stupid cat.
Now we're quoting Mike Tyson, are we?
Hey, it works. It's apropos.
One of our generation's great detectives, I might add, Mike Tyson.
Anyway, still no real change so far. Scott Crump continues to control this race in the inside lane. Gerald Campbell and Wadsworth right behind. Nate Stewart continues to be your lead open car. The outside lane has not given up whatsoever. And it does make you wonder if we're going to be getting some fuel mileage here. You know, talking about earlier, we're not entirely sure if they're going to be good to go on fuel. So I
And
imagine.
I don't think they are. I think you're right.
Yeah, so you imagine that quite a few people towards the back are probably trying to feel save here. And if they can't stretch it to the end, at least save enough. So again, when they do have to make that final stop, they're taking less fuel and flipping the track position. 'Cause, yeah, things are getting real sketchy in that outside lane. It's almost fully dissipated now. Almost the entire top 10 is single file.
I think that was Gavin Hibbs that washed up the hill there on corner exit. Got a push from Kyle Hanshaw into 46, and fortunately they were able to gather it back up.
Yeah, but as I say that, Zach, here comes the outside once again with a huge head of steam out of nowhere. Just when it thought they were gone, Harrison Talent is now back to the lead, and here comes the conveyor belt. Harry jumps to the bottom, McIntosh follows, and now Mooney. Whoa, that got close. You see Hogan jump to the bottom. It's a
I think
good
there
thing.
was just a little bit of hesitation and miscommunication there. I think Ty McIntosh wanted Rob Mooney to drop down and get that open car in front, and they just didn't quite pull off the transition, but still there got to be 1-2 on the inside lane here. And now I think Ty's even trying to throw some blocks here to try and get that sorted out, but it has not worked out. Harrison Hogan took the lead.
Yeah, things are getting real close. I swear we almost had caution number 3 4 times that last lap. As Hogan is your race leader, Mooney is holding on to that open spot. Now the outside lane, just as quick as it came up, it's starting to go away, but here comes Hibbs to the outside. Hibbs side by side with Hogan. And it's going to be Hibbs leading this lap. But, oh, man, Hibbs and McIntosh have been so close these last couple laps. There's purple on that gold and gold on that purple.
And now it is Nate Stewart pushing Ty McIntosh out front in that second lane.
That it is. Stewart pushing McIntosh clear. And they're both going to drop in front of Hibbs. No! Stewart gave him a bit of a dummy and jumped back to the outside. And now that's going to give Stewart the opportunity to jump down to the bottom if he wants. Stewart getting shoved by Kurt Gibson. Look at Kurt. He was getting turned around just a little bit ago, and now he's in the lead of this race. We were worried that he wasn't going to have any time to learn the ropes more of this plate racing. Well, look at that. Can't learn much more than that, Zach.
No, he's found his way to the front of the field in car 88, leading that bottom lane as Ty McIntosh behind him, but it's the outside again. That conveyor belt you're talking about, it's Seth Rawls jumping to the bottom now after pushing Nate Stewart out front.
Yeah, and I think that actually works out better for the inside lane because you saw that there is some nose damage on the 88. It center punched just a bit. So that was probably starting to slow them down. So Seth jumping out in front, that's going to help them because otherwise I don't know how much longer they would have lasted. You know, you go back to the clash on Monday, Wadsworth was leading one of the lanes with significant front end damage and they just kind of cratered from there. So Rawls taking control now keeps them in play. But right now that outside lane is well in control of this race. But here comes Boutwell who jumps to the bottom. We got open cars side by side for the lead of this race.
Stewart on top in the 67, Boutwell on the bottom in the blue 47. 2 open cars at the front of the field. Only one open car will move on to next week's Daytona 500. Will it be one of these two, or will it be somebody else?
Yes, sir, Highlander. There can be only one. And these two are battling to be that one. Right now, outside lane in control again. Single file for the top 3, but here comes Wadsworth. And Talon and Hibbs are gonna follow. And just like that, Boutwell drops to 4th inside lane. Justin Wadsworth, new race leader. Yep, I think we were saying the same thing again.
Such a disappointing end to the season last season for Justin Wadsworth, making the championship 4, getting caught up in a wreck not of his own doing in that 400-mile finale at Chicagoland, a home track of sorts for Wadsworth in his bid for a second Belly Up Sports Cup Series championship. You know he is hungry to get in the title fight again in 2026A.
Yeah, it was a rough end to the season for him on multiple accounts. Almost made the championship 4 in the Grand National Series until a pit road mistake at Dover that totally wasn't caused by a commentator's curse. And then dropping out while in a points position to make it in that final cutoff race. So if you're Wadsworth, you're hoping you've exercised those demons. As you see, there's hardly any cars in the outside right now, but that you can't tell as they're well out in front right now.
And I have to wonder, when you start seeing that line of cars on the inside, are some of them starting to eye up those pit boxes? I think we've still got quite a number of laps before we're running out of fuel, but especially if we believe this has got to take the shape of a green flag run, you're starting to strategize. Do I want to try and get on pit road earlier? Do I want to get that undercut? You know, what's going to help me put the least amount of fuel in the car while still making it to the end? Am I saving fuel and starting to plan for that pit stop now? And I think that's what you're seeing, these guys up front battling for the track position, but a lot of those guys further back on the inside content to ride and strategize.
Yeah, I think you're definitely having a lot of cars and teams working together to come onto pit road at the same time, and probably earlier than we'd expect. But I don't know. To me, I always try to go with as few people as possible, as late as possible, for a number of reasons. One, you're spending more laps with lower fuel, so you're a little bit quicker in that regard. And to me, having to worry about all the cars around you going on a pit road and making sure that you get down to pit road speed and worry about looking for your box while again worrying about the other cars around you, that costs too much time because you're having to worry about so many things out of your control. So coming down with fewer cars, you don't have to focus on as much, and you can make sure that you can maximize your speed and the quickness of your stop better. As Blake Reynolds has blown a left front tire. It's got major damage from that first incident, and he has blown a tire from wear, which I think is the first time that has ever been uttered at Daytona International Speedway.
And that means he's going to have to bring that car to pit road, and I'm sure he's not going to have any drafting help whatsoever when he does so.
I don't know. I feel like there might be a red car behind him that might... Nope, there goes that talking point. You are correct. He is all by himself.
I love a teammate. I don't love a teammate enough to be alone with him at Daytona. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's you, James. I don't love you that much.
Harsh, but fair.
So Blake Reynolds on pit road with one of the first flat tires I've ever heard of at Daytona racing. Now, I'm hearing some interesting information because I was along the same line as you that probably 30-ish would be the number, I think, and that would put us pitting somewhere in the 46 lap range, which means we'd be closing in on that. A little birdie is telling me we might actually be dancing on the fuel number right now.
That is interesting, but I can't say I'm surprised by that. So
This might be a race to the checkered here. We will see. Certainly if that is the case, and these guys have been dicing it up front, have been burning a lot more fuel and putting themselves in a much more precarious position than those guys further back.
yeah, that makes you worry for the likes of Nate Stewart. Open car runner cannot afford to have to make a pit stop that his competitors don't have to. And you know, you look at Rob Mooney, Kyle Hanshaw, they've been in the pack quite a bit. Obviously, Rob's been towards the front for most of this run. So he's probably burned a lot more fuel than others, but he's still able to save what I imagine to be a decent amount here. So we see everyone really starting to migrate to the top. You see this happen quite a bit in real life, where everyone forms that single file lane up by the wall.
Not to belabor the point here for Blake Reynolds, but you know, that's something you have to make a note of if you're racing next week in the Daytona 500, that if you do have the right kind of damage, whatever that may be, it can dramatically impact tire wear at a place we normally just never talk about it. So I'm sure a lot of guys are going to be making a note of that going into next week and be a little more, that's going to definitely create some pause for concern if you do get tangled up in an incident at some point over the course of 500 miles next Wednesday.
Yeah, and I'm curious on what happens if that happens on the right side of the car. Oh, big bump from Burrell into Stewart. That got the 67 sideways. I don't think that's something anyone wanted to see. Is here they come up on the now lap car of Blake Reynolds after his pit stop. Ooh, yeah, big move from Garrison Hogan, taking it 3 wide to the inside of Jared Rexing. Rexing just has Campbell behind him, otherwise they are being left out to dry. They're fighting, they're trying to hold on. Meanwhile, Scott Crump has taken the lead of this race. Oh, big wiggle from Mooney and Hanshaw. Hibbs having to check up behind the 84. Good job by everyone to avoid any calamity here. But we are now 3 wide. The intensity has officially ratcheted up, Zach.
It has definitely ratcheted up here.
Whoa!
Contact!
Oh, there goes Burrell, spinning to the inside. He's going to hold on to it, keep it out of the wall. Great job by Burrell to avoid demolishing that 37 car, but now he's going to need that caution. Otherwise, his duel is pretty much over. Don't know what happened. It's like something made the 90 get sideways and Crump wiggled and went right down into the 37. At least that's what I saw on initial view, but we are fully 3 wide for the lead. So far, it's going to be Rawls. Seth Rawls leads this race as here comes Rexing jumping to the inside. Rawls wanted to block, but he couldn't do it in time. Rexing with a huge shove from Campbell, who has not left the rear of that Nesquik car in ages. Scott Crump back up on the scene, trying to see if he can go anywhere. Outside lane, losing momentum. So far, it's calm down, quote unquote, calm down a little bit. But the pushes are starting to get bigger, and the wiggles are starting to get bigger. Gibson jumps to the outside lane, jumps back to the inside. Meanwhile, in all that, the open car leader is now Hunter Smith in the 51. And he has got himself a big gap back to his closest competitor of Sam Boutwell. Meanwhile, Rexing is all alone up here in the front, with Campbell right behind as he's been. 3 wide towards the middle of the field. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, Zach. They're starting to really slow themselves down. We are single file up to about the top 5. Oh, there's contact! Oh, and McIntosh and Wadsworth up into the outside wall.
I think Hanshaw got a piece of the inside wall as well, right there by pit exit. Let's take a look at the replay here.
You see,
Stewart,
goes up into the 10. Almost a carbon copy of what happened to McIntosh in the Clash. And then almost survived it, but Hanshaw and Frankenfield not able to check up in time. Gets into the 6, sends the 6 back up into McIntosh, and you see, boom, right there, like you said, Zach, contact to the inside wall for Kyle Hanshaw. That might be his speed weeks over. Hanshaw, one of the open car runners. It's going to be some significant damage. No meatball on the 46 is showing, but he's still probably going to be on pit road for quite a while.
Yeah, I was definitely concerned with where he hit. You worry about those corner hits, that left front, potentially a two-link braking, but as you said, no meatball, so maybe he'll be able to get that damage repaired. We'll take another look here on board with Rob Mooney. See what he saw as he made his way into tagging Blake Reynolds there.
Yeah,
but otherwise.
And this is big for Reynolds because that cost him the lucky dog. You know, as we all know, you can't take any sort of incident whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So he's going to be trapped a lap down still. So he's going to need more calamity here in the last 10 laps. And Tally is going on the 67. Now, I don't think that it's in the EOL now, right? I think the EOL was only for the Clash. So
correct.
Yeah. So that's good for Stewart because he's not thrown towards the back. He's still in the fray and near the front. So I think we're going to go ahead and take one quick break before we are back for the closing 10 laps.
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bomarito Automotive Group 500, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Alrighty, and we are back. And we are coming to 1 to green. We're gonna have, I believe, 7 laps to go into one when the green flag comes back out.
So to reset a little bit here, if I'm looking at my scoring monitor correctly here, it looks like everybody in the top 10 stayed out under this caution. They must believe they have enough fuel to at least get to the end of this race at its regularly scheduled distance at the minimum. After that, you had guys pitting for either fuel or 2 tires or naturally damage repair from that last incident. So that's kind of where we stand now. Jared Rexing will lead the field to the green flag on this restart. You see Hunter Smith in 3rd, Sam Beltwell in 5th. They're the top 2 of the open cars battling for that one open spot into the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500 next Wednesday, January 21st.
Yep, so how crazy is this battle for the last spot in gonna be?
I mean, insane. I mean, first off, let's not forget, they're right on the cusp of the top 10. You see R.C. Enerson and Tate Lytle, 2 guys who know how to win at this level, and they both have the orange number. They're both going to be fighting to race their way into the Daytona 500. That's not including even guys further back, like Nate Stewart, who you see there in 16th. It's got to be, especially if the fuel mileage concerns are indeed out the window, it's got to be plenty of excitement here in these final 6 laps or so.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere. The excitement is gonna be crazy as we see the pace car getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And the 71 of Jared Rexing will lead us to the restart zone. Green means go, and we are back underway at Daytona. 7 laps to go in duel number 1. Rexing doing a little bit of a okie dokie here with Campbell. As now Hunter Smith, he's in front of that outside lane as he's getting absolutely shoved by Sam Boutwell. So here we go, down the back straightaway, the outside lane, trying to get organized, trying to build that energy. We've got Lytle on the inside, Enerson also on the outside, along with Smith and Boutwell. What do you do if you're Sam Boutwell sitting there second on the outside lane with the guy you're racing right there in front of you?
I think he needs to start working together because Tate Lytle's about to pass them both on the inside.
Yeah, this outside lane has fallen apart, and this is almost disaster for those 2 and Enerson, as Rawls jumps to the outside. Rawls trying to save the outside like he did the inside a little bit ago. Fody jumps to the outside as well. And this is really, yeah. Whoa, big bump to the 25 from the 51. Seth doing all he can to hold on to that Mustang as we got 5 laps to go in duel number 1. Rexing continues to run out front. Campbell and Crump right behind as everyone from 4th on back are at least 2 wide trying to fight for position. The leader of the open cars is Lytle right now on that inside. But this is nervous times for that 56 because if that outside can get the speed back, he's going to be in a world of hurt right now. And as we say that, here comes the outside. They got the speed once again. Rawls up to side by side with 3rd, now side by side with 2nd. 4 to go. pushes on the outside are starting to get even harder. All kinds of wiggling, and here comes Crump to the outside. Oh, Scott jumps back down. I think that only served to hurt that outside. Now he jumps back up again. Scott Crump, we know that he knows how to get it done on the plate tracks. Multi-time winner in the Elite Racing Leagues. Oh, contact between Boutwell and Smith. I think Smith might have blown up, and we got our big one. Frankenfield, McIntosh, Rob Mooney hard into the outside wall.
Ty McIntosh is in it. Ethan Burrell got a piece of it. Gavin Hibb is bringing it straight to pit road with heavy right front damage.
Yeah, I didn't see any magic smoke, but I think that 51 might have blown up.
It's not moving at a high rate of speed away from the incident he has towed. You might be right.
Man, that is heartbreaking if you're the 51.
I think you saw a puff right there.
Yep.
Corner entry, and that just stacks up this entire field.
That is a incredible job. Oh, Smith on Fody for good measure. That's a fantastic job from Boutwell to jump out of line in time to avoid getting caught up in that.
I want to take a look at that, and I also want to take a look at Nate Stewart avoiding this, because as you said, that could have been disastrous for Sam Boutwell. He's able to get away before everything falls apart behind him, and that is going to put him, I believe, second of the open cars when we line up for this upcoming restart.
And you also got to give credit to Hunter Smith, sorry to cut you off, Zach, for getting out of the way as soon as possible when that let go. That's what really helped Boutwell and a lot of others live. It could have been a heck of a lot worse.
I've been able to dodge to the apron there, but you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously there was only so much out of the way he could get. They were 3 wide behind him. But certainly Hunter Smith did the best he could under the circumstances to mitigate the impact on the other competitors.
As on board with the Catman and Ray Bracey. Hang on to it, Ray! Oh, contact right there at the end. Almost got through it clean. Curious to see how much extra damage that added to the 7 car.
Now, I know what the rules are normally for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series, but someone in the lobby will have to tell me, is it showing 3 attempts with the duel?
Yes.
All right.
Attempt 1 of 3. So, to reset the field real quick. Race leader is 71 of Jared Rexing with Crump, Campbell, Rawls, and Gibson top 5. Tate Lytle, the lead open car in 6th. Hogan in 7th. Boutwell, Pop, and Thompson Gardner round out the top 10. All 3 open cars. Sam Boutwell is in the same exact position he was in the last restart. Top 10 with the car he needs to be ahead of, directly in front of him on the outside.
And just to lay it out for people who may be tuning into the Elite Racing Network or watching an iRacing broadcast for the first time, 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered restart. If the caution comes out during the first lap, we'll re-rack it, go for attempt number 2 or attempt number 3. Once the white flag is displayed, it is a race to the checkered flag. No matter what happens at that point, the yellow flag cannot be displayed. Whoever gets back to the start-finish line first will win, and obviously whichever open car gets back to the line first will race next week in the Daytona 500.
We see quite a few cars still on pit road. See what if those cars still have anything left. Leighton Norgard started this race on the front row, needing to race his way in, sitting in 19th right now. He's gonna need everything to happen in these last 2 laps if he is going to be racing next Wednesday. And here we go. We are 2 by 2.
And remember, folks, this is just our first duel of the night. We still have another 60 laps waiting for you on the other side here.
Yes, sir.
That's why I ate beforehand. I knew what tonight was going to be.
Someday I'll learn.
So we're just about down the back straightaway now.
Again, it's going to be a very similar situation for Sam Boutwell as we saw in the last one, especially with only 2 laps. It's got to be a tough spot because I don't think before, I think his best bet was to push that outside lane and keep getting the conveyor belt moving and hope it spits him out front. Now, I think his only shot is to probably be the first person to the outside 3 wide, but who's going to go with him? Unfortunately, for a guy like Sam Boutwell, not a regular competitor here in the Elite Cup Series, probably not a lot of guys that, nothing personal against the guy, don't know if they're going to trust pushing him to the front here.
Well, the thing is, he does have Thompson Gardner behind him, who is another open car who needs to make something happen. So that's something to watch as Rexing brings us to the restart zone. Green means go. We are underway. 2 laps to go in Duel 1. Fantastic jump for Rexing on the inside. Boutwell didn't get that great of a jump on the outside. He's losing connection with Lytle. But that outside is really starting to fall apart. Unfortunately for Sam, he couldn't drop down to the inside in time. That might have been his golden ticket. Crump jumps back to the outside. Crump side by side trying to get the shove from Rawls.
Connor Thompson got to the inside. He's behind Garrison Hogan.
Yeah, things did not work out for the 47. Things might have worked out perfectly for the 03. As here we are, 1 lap to go in duel number 1. And here comes Kurt Gibson to the front of this race. Can Kurt get himself a first win? Big shove from the 55 into the 88 to Gibson. Gibson's going to jump down and take control of this conveyor belt, but he's still got that front damage. This is working out perfectly for Hogan. Getting shoved out.
Rawls, Dorsey.
Oh, contact with Gibson and Rawls. What's this going to do? Contact. Spinning. It's going to be between Lytle and Thompson. Side by side for the win. It's Crump. It's Hogan. Here comes St. Lytle coming to the checkered. Scott Crump is going to win duel number 1, and Lytle right behind is going to race his way into the Daytona 500. Heartbreak for Thompson Gardner, Boutwell, Tyler Pop finishing right behind Tate Lytle. Whoa, man, what a wild last couple laps.
Definitely a dramatic finish to the first duel. Scott Crump picking up the win. Tate Lytle racing his way into the Daytona 500 presented by Rev Limit Workshop. Everything popping off on that final lap in particular. But Scott Crump going to bring it to the tri-oval grass and start his celebration on this duel victory.
And a well-deserved celebration at that. And there's teammate Tate Lytle also celebrating his berth into the Daytona 500.
Leave some grass for next week, fellas.
Heck, leave some grass for later tonight.
Don't worry, I'm going to run out there before Duel 2 and fix it. Look good.
Ah, perfect.
Man, Dave really does everything around here.
It's true. It's true.
Told the drivers to hit the victory lane spot. I don't see any of them yet. I'm looking really closely. Nobody in the O. The A-holes are off to the right.
Well, Scott just blew up, so I don't think he's going to be getting to the flags.
It looks like that's fine. You need to start finding your way to the second lobby anyway. So if you want to throw up the static screen while we grab Scott, I'll start with Scott Crump here. Scott Crump picking up the win here in our first duel of the night. He'll be starting P3, if I'm not mistaken, for the Rev Limit Workshop Daytona 500 next week. And Scott, pretty good start to speed weeks, picking up this duel win. Why did it take to pick up the win there on that first right check race?
Just putting myself in the right spot. Pushing gears. Clear down the bottom. I take coming up around. So I got to make it around so I can make the other thing. That's all I need.
I'm excited to talk to you on this one in particular. I know there's a cool story behind that you put on the 90 car this season. And love to hear you talk about it.
Yeah, my son Grayson is big into the Cars movies, the Pixar's Cars, and this is one of the schemes from that. So it's pretty cool. Painted that so good. He did an awesome job with it. It's like, yeah, sure, I'd love to do it. And but after looking at it already, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you know.
All right, so and of course, before we go into next week, 500 miles, what's kind of the game plan for you going into next week's Daytona 500?
The biggest thing is being there right at the end. You need to be like the top half right there at the end to put yourself in the right position. And yeah, just keep a clean race and maybe have a teammate there at the end with you.
And before we let you go, who do you have to shout out on this win tonight?
Blue Egg Marketing, Lake Norman Motorsports, Tate, with that P2, he's in the 500 as well. So, and then Fody was running in that one. Gabriel was up our eyes for us up in the sky, and he's about to run this Duel 2. And yeah, other than that, grandfather watching, wife for Let Me Race, and y'all do a heck of a job on the booth, and it should be a fun one to go back and watch.
All right, well, we'll let you go. Congratulations, and good luck next week, Scott.
All right, thank you.
So that's Scott Krupp. We'll go ahead and grab our second place finisher, highest
Plus
open finisher.
Oh.
Hi, how's it
Hello.
going, buddy?
Dude, it's great. How about that?
It's been, I'm going to be honest with you, it's been a weird adjustment calling you an open driver all night, but now we don't have to worry about the open part anymore. You raced your way into the Daytona 500 next week.
I am honestly shocked. I got reinforcements here. I got a cousin and my aunt watching the baby, so I could try and qualify for next week's race when he's not here. And there for a while, I thought it was gonna be all for nothing, and the seas kind of parted there on the last lap. So hail to the yeah.
Well, before we let you go, obviously, I want to give you a chance to give those shout outs and kind of lay out the plans. What's it going to take next week for 500 miles?
Well, shout out Days Gone By. Shout out Dad, Jack Louise. And planned for next week, I don't know. It doesn't really matter until about lap 483. So I guess just be alive at 483 and see what happens.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Not lap, but you know what I meant. You know what I meant.
Yeah. Who's count?
Yeah.
I don't do math. It's fine.
I will say that's about as hyped as I've been finishing second in a race.
I can imagine. I can imagine
So-
the pressure of making the 500 has that effect on.
And if Scary Gary hadn't tried to side suck me there on the front stretch, I would have tried to make a move for the win, but I never quite got clear of him. So we were happy pushing the teammate to the dub and getting ourselves in the show. And we're gonna be starting like P5 too, which is pretty
Yeah,
badass.
you're gonna be P5. You're gonna have a
Yeah.
great view of Harrison Talon at the start of that.
Yeah,
deal.
yeah, that's the problem. We're gonna be 2 cars behind Harry. I might text him, see how much it costs to get him to start on the top, but we'll see how that works in about 7 days.
All right. Well, best of luck, Tate. We'll let you go, and good luck next week.
Thanks, guys.
And I see Tyler Pop here in the waiting room. We will go ahead and grab Tyler. A quick interview with the third place finisher, which is probably about as bittersweet as a third place finish can get. Finishing on the podium, but 1 spot behind Tate Lytle.
Yeah, that just seems to be the common theme. Me racing in this league, whether it's in this series, 03, Xfinity, but that's all right. I mean, a little frustrating, obviously, but still ran good. Really hoping, not hoping someone doesn't show up next week, but being the one alternative will be that'll be fine for me for now.
And obviously, like you mentioned, in case somebody doesn't show up, you're in a great position for that alternate starting spot. But otherwise, still a full season ahead of you. Before we let you go, who do you have to thank on this effort tonight and your plans moving forward in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series season?
Yeah, just my sponsoring Tel. We're a staffing firm, and then really just the whole league excited to be a part of Cup finally. Just been kind of like biding my time, waiting until I actually hop on in. But I feel pretty fast in these cars. As long as things go well, I think I'll have a chance to make the playoffs.
All right. Well, best of luck moving forward, Tyler. Sorry we, barring, of course, like you mentioned, somebody dropping out. Sorry we won't see you next week, but best of luck rest of the season.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
So there you have it. That was Tyler Pop, third place finisher. Dave, are we able to take a peek at our second duel yet, or are we still in the setup process?
Yep, I'm ready to come back. They're on track for the warm-up. You ready?
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take us back live to the virtual Daytona International Speedway as we get ready for duel number 2 here. You see practice ongoing, and Daniel Gore going head on into the inside wall with Jonathan Cutlip. And I believe that was right as time expired, so we're going to be going straight into a starting lineup. We've timed it out pretty well here in the broadcast booth. I'd love to say I did that on purpose, James.
Yeah, I'm concerned on what they were practicing, but meanwhile, you're front row for duel number 2. Daniel Falkingham in the 39 and Josh Adams in the 22. Row 2 features the 27 of Trey Eidson and the 24 of Michael Hossack. Row 3 is the 69 of Daniel Gore and the 77 of Paul Mikolajczyk. Row 4 is the 1 of Jaden Rasimus and the 91 of Ethan Stanley. Rounding out the top 10 is the 00 of Cale Pocock and the 54 of Justin Vandermarlen. Take it away, Zach.
All right. On the 6th row, inside will be Trey Holmes. On the outside, Jordan Owens hoping to race his way into the show. On the 7th row, Austin and Nabnett in the solo racing number 60. Gavin Higgins will line up in the 14th position. On the 8th row, Josh Chin for Channel 199, an open competitor, alongside Corey Abbott in car 21 for Abbott Motorsports. The 9th row, Caleb McHumer. We've talked about the rise he made last year, hoping to continue that this season. Matthew Weeks, of course, defending Daytona 500 winner. 10th row, Ryan Gable in car 01. Another gold car alongside him. Partner in crime, David Westergreen, hoping to make the 500.
And then row 11 features the 5 of Jonathan Cutlip and the 13 of Nick Indelcato. 89 of Brent Jones and the 44 of Mike Goodman on row 12. Row 13 features the 99 of Mark Rabiles and the 2 of Jeff Green. Johnny Thomas in the 83 and Dustin Dorr in the 32 round out the field for duel number 2.
Now I'm very curious if we can go. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, big news right there. Your pole sitter for duel number 2 missed the start.
I was going to say, I saw him not at the top of the screen on my timing and scoring monitor here.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Did we lose Jenkins?
Do you have me? Yeah.
I thought he was thinking.
Okay, now that's over. Trey Eidson will lead us to the restart zone. Green means go, and we are underway for duel number 2. Good jump for the Shift Esports front row right here as they go past Falkingham. Danny Falkingham is going to be hoping for that early caution. Meanwhile, Eidson is getting a massive shove from Daniel Gore. For as you remember, a heartbreak in last season's duel, dropped while running in a transfer position. Now he don't have to worry about that as a charter driver. Now he can worry about getting that win. This is working out fantastic for Trey Eidson because he's out here in front as an open car. As you see, the one of James Seamus jumps out of line to take over the lead of the outside.
I'm a little confused by her scoring at the moment.
How so?
It's not lap 3.
I thought this.
Is it? No. Now it's lap 3. There we go. That makes way more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that is quite interesting.
Always something
Wow,
weird when you have multiple sessions.
For sure. Yeah. Meanwhile, here comes Trey Holmes. He jumps to the outside lane. He's got a huge run trying to take the lead from Trey Eidson. Side by side, off a turn 4. Eidson is still going to hold on to the lead of this race. Now Trey starts the conveyor belt. He jumps down, takes control of the inside, and then jumps back up in front of James Seamus.
That was Brent Jones we saw in the apron dropping to the rear of the pack.
Yeah, looks like Brent wants nothing to do with what's going on right now. Jaden jumps to the front, and now he's jumping to the bottom, and here comes Josh Adams back. Adams getting shoved out forward by Mike Losek, and they're both going to drop to the bottom. Now here comes Mikolajczyk. Bunch of letters holding on to the outside. Paul not quite alongside with the 22. Getting shoved along with teammate Ethan Stanley as they're trying to go up to the front.
Ooh, a lot of dancing on that bottom lane right now.
3 wide. Here comes Indelcado.
And Delicado with help from former real-world Daytona 500 pole sitter Jeff Green. I believe he's won our pole as well before.
Yep, and they continue to be 3 wide. Indelcado getting a great run, getting a great shove from Jeff Green, like you said. Already, this is starting out way more aggressive than Duel 1.
Oh, for sure.
Which makes you nervous, since we did get about 3 big wrecks in that first duel. And they didn't really get 3 wide until towards the end.
Right. Although, hopefully everyone in this duel has learned a valuable lesson and properly barricaded their feelings.
Remember, the cats are going to do what they're going to do. So it's up to us humans to make sure that the cat can cat safely. If you don't want your cat destroying something, well, don't let it be where it can be destroyed by the cat.
I'd love somebody to diagram that sentence. Do the kids still diagram sentences, or is that my age talking?
It's a cat person thing, you understand.
That has not anything to do with diagramming sentences.
Oh boy. Anyways, just as quickly as they got 3 wide, they are 3 wide no longer. Back to 2 wide as Jaden Zemus is in control of that middle lane. Or outside lane only, rather. Adams so far sitting in complete control of this race. As you see Dusty making it a little bit of 3 wide there towards the middle of the field.
Especially in this second duel, you are seeing some of those guys that were unable to make it in time for the single car qualifying, like Dustin Dewar, Jeff Green, but able to make it in time for these duels and figure out where they're going to start in the Daytona 500, or in Jeff Green's case, try to race his way into the Daytona 500.
Yeah, that's rough being an open car and not being able to make your qualifying attempt, because the slim margins and the few chances you have to make it are just cut in half, because it's already feels like impossible enough to make this race. You have to give up one of those few opportunities to make it. Well, your back is really up against the wall now, as you see Gavin Higgins making an aggressive move to take over the lead of that outside lane. Just barely had enough room in front of Jonathan Cutler to pull that off. Probably going to see a heck of a lot more of those close moves here as this race goes on, Zach, and could very well end up being that lead car getting turned around because of it.
Certainly, I think we saw a little bit of that on that last lap of duel number 1. At that point, it was a last-ditch effort. You had to try to make the lane change, make the move, but certainly there were some guys that came together over the course of that last lap, and from just what you're talking about, not clear, making a lane change when there was a car there. We saw a lot of it last night in the development series contest here for 200 miles at Daytona.
Yup. So we see Zemus back in front of the outside lane, and Jonathan Cutlip now leading the inside, now leading the outside. A lot of aggression again for only being 12 laps into this race.
I will say, even though the aggression has been higher, I feel like it's been more organized, even with the occasional three-wide racing. You aren't seeing as much of the dancing while cars are trying to line up nose to tail. Certainly you see cars like Jonathan Cutlip just did, jumping from the bottom to the top or vice versa, but it seems like everybody's... Well, when I say that, that almost got a little sketchy there between Jaden Racimus and Nick and Delicato there on the outside, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. We heard over the radio chatter Matthew Weeks voicing his displeasure on the aggression level being displayed so far. So we see the supposed to be pole sitter for this race, Daniel Falkingham. He has not gotten that early caution, and now he's on the verge of going one lap down. Now, obviously, it's not the end of the world because he'd be the only car one lap down by a mile or 2.5 miles to be exact. So as long as he can get into the pack, get back in the draft, and make sure he avoids the calamity when it does happen, he should be okay.
Yeah, and
What lap will he be okay on?
I'm gonna say whatever lap they reckon. Now, obviously, they could go caution-free. We know the likelihood of that isn't
it's not terrific.
high.
It's not terrific. How about Jaden Racimus leading the way here, by the way?
Yeah, a fantastic run for Jaden. You see, Delcato made it 3 wide, and now here comes Cutlip and Gable. They jump to the outside. Cutlip jumps down to the inside. Gable stays up on the outside.
We'll have Gavin Higgins behind him. And I think we'll see one of those two drivers drop to the bottom. Maybe not. No? Maybe? Close enough. They meandered to the bottom. They got there eventually.
Yeah, it just took a moment. Here comes Vandermarl. What does Justin have? As he's getting shoved forward by the 11 of Matthew Weeks. Gable continuing to be shoved by the 20, Gavin Higgins. See, Delcato tried to make the third line work. He is now fallen all the way back to the second lane, the end of the second lane. That's not good for him being one of the open cars. But here we go. Trying to make that third line work again. Got Jeff Green out there trying to help him, trying to get both of them back up into this fray. Vanderwerld doing a great job hanging to the outside of Ryan Gable, holding on to the lead, and now he's going to get shoved forward by Weeks, and there he goes down to the inside. Now it's Weeks leading this outside lane. Matt didn't qualify well, started pretty far back. But darn if it didn't take him long to get back up here.
And no surprise there, of course, Matthew Weeks, as we mentioned, 3-time Daytona 500 winner here in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series, and got a pretty respectable super speedway, couple of them behind him in Dustin Dewar and Michael Goodman. Now Ryan Gable jumping in front of that outside lane.
Yeah, now Gable jumps in front of the 11 car. So now Morbilis jumps out of the line. Mark on his way to the back of this line. Oh, Mark getting really close to the outside wall. Oh, I think Indelcado caught it as he tried to jump out of the line once again. And that did not faze him because he jumped back in and jumped back out. Oh, and here comes Daniel Gore.
I was about to say, I'd be surprised. I was about to say, Westergreen will always go up there and help a friend in need on the outside. So I figured once Daniel Gore went up there, Westergreen was going to be short to follow.
Absolutely. David Westergreen, our colleague here at ERN, trying to make his way into next week's Daytona 500 as an open car. We're just about 3 wide here. That third lane is really starting to work now. Best it's worked in some time. And now it's the middle lane having trouble, as we have almost significantly single filed out.
Yeah,
And
Matthew.
Oh, things get really close between Goody and Dustin Dorr. Pat got nervous. But we stay clean and green. Third lane's gone, but the second lane is back and back out in front. Ryan Gable. And once again, there goes the conveyor belt. Gable to the bottom, Cutlet to the outside. Not quite able to clear. Getting a small shove through the corner from the one at Jane Racimus. Meanwhile, the South Shore cars are still up there on that third lane all by themselves.
I like it.
Yeah, you see Paul jump to the bottom of Cutlip and Racimus. And here comes Bunch of Letters to the front.
Big wheel there. I think that was Indelicado further back.
Yeah, and you see Joshua Chin jumps out with a massive run, trying to make something happen. See, there's a slow car on the apron. It's the 89 of Brent Jones. Not sure what's wrong with Jones. He is 2 laps down now. Oh, Goody, hard into the wall.
Oh,
And
they saved it.
somehow, some way, we stayed green. My goodness, that could have been absolute disaster.
But are they going to be able to form up and get back to that lead pack?
It's gonna, I think they might be out of luck here. That is a massive gap from green to the lead pack.
Westergreen's got to shove Hosick for all he can to try and get them caught back up.
And now Hosick gonna try to shove Jeff Green. Meanwhile, up at the front, Josh Adams is sent at 3 wide for the lead of this race. Meanwhile, the distance from that first pack to that now second pack, it's about 8/10. They are right on the edge. I think they might be safe. I think, yep, they have caught back the draft.
Well, that 3 wide definitely helped them.
It sure did. But it has not helped Josh Adams. He has got the parachute all the way back to the midfield. And you see crisis averted for that second pack. We are now one big unhappy family here in Duel 1, or Duel 2 rather. And we are also just about halfway.
Yep, closing in on the halfway mark. Ryan Gable, Ethan Stanley in that second lane.
Steve Gable jumps down in front of Weeks. But this is definitely kind of uncharted territory here. You know, we saw all the wrecks that happened at this point in Duel 1. We've stayed green for all 25 laps now. So we might be seeing pit strategy and green flag pit stops come into play here, Zach.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility, and we didn't think we'd get to that point the way that we're racing at the start of this duel, but we've been able to go 26 laps caution-free so far.
Yeah, that nearly changed right there. Big bump from the 11 into the 01.
Just after he said, if you wreck me, I won't blame you.
Yeah, trying to call the bluff on those words. But we'll see how many happen saving fuel and if that'll work if we do get that green flag stop. As you see, Mikolajczyk back to the bottom, getting shoved by teammate Joshua Chin out front. You got Trey Holmes right behind them on the inside lane. And Chin is the leading open car, the only one in the top 10. The next highest is the 9 of David Westergreen, just outside of the top 10. See a massive single file line now. About the top 6 or 7 all by themselves. As here comes Chin to the outside. As they have just lapped Brent Jones again. I don't know if he's having some sort of technical problem, but it seems like he's just circulating, doing laps on the apron.
Yeah, he has made no attempt to try and latch on to this pack.
Yeah, he's only doing a minute and a half laps, too.
Yeah, unfortunate for Brent Jones. Unsure what's going on with that 89. Meanwhile, Mikolajczyk continues to lead as the open battle gets closer and closer, as now Westergreen and Chin separated by just a couple cars. D-West was able to get to that inside lane, and right now, knock on wood, it is paying off dividends.
And one thing,
go on, Zach.
We touched on it briefly when we thought we might get a green flag pit stop last year. Starting to really look like that now, and this is when you're really trying to start having those voice chat communications, either with your teammate or other drivers in the session. When are you looking to pit? Who is looking to pit with you? Because it's like you say, it can get tricky if there's too many people pitting on the same lap, and then you're kind of all dodging each other while trying to get to your pit stall and getting slowed down to the pit road speed limit. But at the same time, you have to have friends. You can't come by yourself to pit road either.
Yeah, and you just have to hope that you get lucky, because you never know. We've seen plenty of contact on pit road entry from someone locking up the brakes, going right into the car in front of them, someone spinning, trying to get on the binders, and people plowing into them, contact going into their boxes. So it's gonna be interesting. You just have to hope so much goes right for you. nothing more stressful than green flag pit stops at a restrictor plate track, because the slightest, the tiniest, the most easiest mistake to make will ruin your entire night.
And especially for those open competitors, the one thing you can't afford beyond the obvious things like an incident is a speeding penalty, because the penalty for that under green flag is just so severe, and you, barring some really fortunate turns of events in a relatively short race, you're never going to recover.
And also making sure you get into your box. You know, you could very easily just slide over that front line, have to back up, and you right there, you've lost the draft. And so you're essentially in the same position that you would be in if you did get a speeding penalty. There's no black flag, but that is absolutely a race-altering penalty if that happens.
As it stands, Paul Nikolajczyk leading the way, and David Westergreen, Josh Chin side by side effectively for that open transfer spot in sixth at the moment.
Yeah, see the outside lane doing its best to keep pace, but the muscle seems to be on the inside right now. So you wonder how much some of those cars towards the back of the pack, like a Caleb McHumer or like Austin and Avnet, how much fuel are they saving right now?
And obviously anything you can save will help shorten that pit stop. And some guys, as you mentioned, will be looking to stay out as long as possible and shorten that pit stop as much as possible.
Yeah, and on the flip side, it makes you wonder how much gas that the open cars up towards the front are giving it. You see Joshua Chin out in front of that outside lane. You know he's not fuel saving. I don't think the 9 has been doing nearly as much fuel save as those cars towards the back have.
Where are we catching here?
Looks like Goodman got some serious damage in that near wreck towards the early part of this duel number 2. He lost the draft and he's getting his stop. He is also in the needs that caution to come out camp.
He's almost in the needs the caution to need a caution camp, because you have to figure at this point, the next caution would benefit Daniel Falkingham, and then he'd need one more, and that's assuming he can stay one lap down here, which might be a stretch. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Oh, contact between Vandermarl and Weeks. That could have been disaster, especially if Weeks got turned into the field like he almost did. So far, no black flags for any of the 4 that have brought it down.
So that's Trey Holmes, Justin Vandermarl, Jordan Owens, and Matthew Weeks all pitting here on lap 36. And it looks like at least right side tires for these 2 guys. Just right sides.
Yeah, which
way they go.
Yeah, and sorry to cut you off, Zach, but that does make sense, you know, with how much fuel you have to take. There is plenty of time to take at least one side of tires without adding too much time to your stop, if any. So now the question is, who pits next? It's a good chunk of Pro Edge slash fueled up racing bringing it down pit road. When do we see the likes of Racecraft, Lake Norman bring it in, the South Shore duo? the shift cars up as well.
Nobody this time.
Nope, no takers. Now Joshua Chin jumps out in front. New race leader, the 93. And now Trey Eidson has worked himself back up into the top 10. I think we might be getting some tankers this time.
I was about to make the joke that this is one of the first time I've seen Nick and Delicato actually on the bottom lane, so I figure he must be pitting pretty soon.
Yeah, actually no one that time. So I'm very curious on how this little undercut strategy from Weeks and Company, how that's gonna work. Oh, and we are definitely getting takers this time.
I will say the last few, or at least last time by, that group of four were 4/10 quicker than this lead pack.
Interesting. And here we go, a whole lot of cars
Oh,
bringing it
trouble.
down.
Daniel
Oh,
Gore's
we're
around.
wrecking! Oh, Daniel go around!
Oh, this is gotta be, so this has gotta be a mess is what this is gonna be. Because how many of these guys got onto pit road before pit entry closed?
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of hard to see any black flags or anything, but I'm unsure if that penalty will show up as a black flag. So you see,
There, yeah. Daniel Gore gets tagged on pit entry. Can't tell, is that an abnett?
looks like it.
Yep. Right in the right rear, that spins him up the racetrack in front of oncoming traffic, and Mark Revelup is gonna tag him right there.
Wow, Michael Hosek just barely missing that.
Well, there was some netcode contact for sure, because you can see the rotation change on the 69 car.
Yeah. Huh.
So I don't know if that would have registered on the 24's end or not. He might be fine, or he might have some netcode damage.
Yeah, meanwhile, all those that brought it down, or were bringing it down when that came out, they're getting EOL, so that is a bad break for a lot of cars.
So this has got to cycle those four guys who pitted under green together to the front of the field.
Yeah, that worked out perfectly for those four.
Man. And that's great news for Jordan Owens in particular.
Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and take our first break of Duel 2. We'll be back shortly.
Tickets are on sale now for the 10th Bomarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Sunday, June 7th features 3 huge races. The USAC Classic, Firestone Indy Next, and the only Sunday night prime time NTT IndyCar Series race. Enjoy a weekend of cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. The stars of the Indy 500 are coming to St. Louis. Get your tickets now and save big at www.raceway.com.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
Alrighty, we are back, and we are sort of double filed. Obviously, lot of cars got the EOL because of when that caution came out. So it's about double file. I'd say maybe 1.5 file at this point. So
we'll take it.
Yeah.
You know who also take that caution is Daniel Falkingham, of course, now back on the lead lap after missing the start of the grid for this race.
That he did. And now Michael Goodman is now the lucky dog spot. As we see the pace car getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Justin Vandermeer will lead us to the restart zone. Green means go. We are back underway at Daytona. Under 20 laps to go here in Duel 2.
That outside lane just not synced up at all on that restart. It looks like maybe Dustin knew or somebody in that third or fourth on back in that second lane was trying to time it a little bit and just got it all wrong, and it really stacked them up.
Yeah, plus them having so few numbers on the outside compared to the inside is not going to help them one bit either. See that second lane being led by Corey Abbott, now being led by Josh Adams and Jeff Green, who have jumped up there. Now we're going to be 3 wide per second. Corey Abbott on the third lane trying to make something happen as Josh Adams now takes the lead. And Jeff Green, he's the lead open car. Whoa, caught near contact between Holmes and Abbott. Oh, the intensity is ratcheted up now, Zach.
Absolutely 3 wide all through this pack as they make their way down the back stretch.
Yeah, I think some of the cars, the likes of David Westergreen, etc., they've jumped out. They're expecting something to happen. Hurricanes are coming. Just wonder when. We are single file for the top 5. Most of the top 5 is open cars with Green, Owens, and Mark Rubiales. I'm surprised Rubiales is up here. I figured the damage that he got from hitting Gore would have been much more severe.
I would have expected absolutely much more significant damage on that 99 car that would hamper him from being up front here. Clearly not the case. Here he is, right in the mix on that inside lane.
And you see, here comes Caleb Becumer, leader of the second lane. Now Westergreen starting to make his way back up there. He is now in the inside lane and hoping to get closer and closer, similar to how it was going early on in this race. Outside, not quite able to get side by side for the lead. Dewar giving a massive shove to Becumer on corner entry. As we see the third line with a huge head of steam. Falkenham shoving Jaden Racimus. Does anyone join? Doesn't look like it, but Dewar was thinking about it. The third lane only seems to be able to get up there for a few laps before it starts to fall apart again. So we are under 15 to go. And Racimus is going to drop down in front of Becumer. Ooh, things are getting close. Oh boy. They're all over the place. Whoa. I thought Gable was going to get shoved into the wall. We were 4 wide. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's getting spooky. Meanwhile, in all that chaos, Daniel Falkingham was now in front of the middle lane.
Yep, he got the push from Josh Shen, was able to get down in front of Jaden Racimus. And I think that's taken a lot of that energy out of that third lane.
It absolutely has. They are falling. While Green continues to control that open spot. But now Jordan Owens is out front of the second lane, side by side with Green for that spot. While Josh Adams leads this race, he doesn't care about those open spots. He wants to get that win and those bonus points.
Absolutely something we didn't touch on as much in the first duel, but these duel races do pay points to the top 10 finishers.
And you saw Owens have the lead for just a second. Now is Daniel Falkingham out front. Spent most of this race 1 lap down. He is now leading the field. What a comeback for our outside pole sitter. Now Becumer manning the inside lane.
Behind him.
Yeah, there's another open car. Meanwhile, Jeff Green is about near disappeared. He's fallen back to 11th. Whoa, that got super close. It's a big move from Jaden Racimus. Whoa, big move from Becumer, even bigger move from Falkingham. As we are 10 laps to go here in Duel 2. Joshua Chin exactly where he needs to be, running P2, pushing the 39. 39 to 93 out in front. So far, all the speed is right up there in that middle lane, Zach.
Absolutely, a lot of heavy hitters in that middle lane. Third lane trying to formulate something with Matthew Weeks there.
Yeah, we haven't seen him for a minute. He started up front because of the pit strategy, but wasn't really a factor again until right now, out there manning that third lane.
Falkingham out front, trying to play both lanes, stay out in front.
Wow, a little bit of movement there from the 04 Owens. It's on peak below the yellow line. So far, nothing really changing. Still 3 wide for most of this field. Big move from Gable, jumping down in front of his teammate. Whoa, big wiggle from Mikolajczyk. Not sure what happened to the 77, but he holds on to it. But things are getting closer and closer. There's hardly any gaps between these cars.
Josh Chin up in front, Matthew Weeks to the outside.
It's a big move, and he's getting a big shove from that 11 car. Inside lane starting to lose a little bit of steam. See Pecumer all over his teammate, trying to get him that shove to get them back up there. As Mikolajczyk jumps down. Big run from Paul. Here comes Weeks all the way from the top to the bottom to the inside of Chin, and he's going to get the lead. Matthew Weeks further showing off that plate prowess. Back up to the front, but Chin isn't giving up. Meanwhile, he is well ahead of his competition. The next open car behind that 93, 13, and Nick Indocado sitting in 10th. Now it's Austin and Abden in 10th. Oh, big move from Chin. He's able to hold on to it. I don't know if he wanted to do that or had to do that. But scary moment nonetheless for everybody. Battling side by side with Daniel Falkingham. Third lane losing steam. Look at this gaggle of cars. New player up in the third lane, Ethan Stanley. Side by side, no giving up. Coming to just 5 laps to go in duel number 2. Chin getting another good shove from Falkingham. They are well out in front. But Door's gonna have a run. What does Dusty decide to do?
Right now stays right behind Daniel Falkingham.
Yeah.
Another 500 winner. He's got to make the move to the inside.
Big move from Thomas. He has come out of nowhere. This is the first time we've talked about him all night, and he's trying to work to the lead of this race. 4 to go. Chin out in front, doing what he needs to do. But we're just waiting. We know that big bad push is coming. Where does it happen? Chin is doing a magnificent job just holding this middle lane. No one really making efforts. But now as I say that, you said it, Jordan Owens to the bottom, getting shoved by Vandermarl. And here comes Westergreen. He's starting to get closer. 3 to go at the line. Joshua Chin controlling the middle still. So far, Falkingham just seems content to ride here. Not quite time to make that move. But he has got to worry about that car to his inside, Jordan Owens. Those with something to fight for, they're making their way into center stage. Half of the top 10 are open cars. As here we go, here comes Owens, they are side by side, coming to 2 laps to go in duel number 2. Man, I wonder what it's like behind the wheel of that 93. You know something's coming. You know a move is coming. You're trying to figure out any avenue you have to block and keep the lead of this race. Whoa, there's some contact. Cars all over the apron. As here comes Westergreen. David Westergreen jumps to the bottom, getting shoved by Owens. What does he win?
Oh, they're wrecking.
And caution is out with 2 laps to go.
And that was definitely brewing back there for the better part of this lap. We'll have to take a look and see exactly what happened. There you see the damage to Caleb McHumer. Well, that's 4 wide.
Yep, and that doesn't really work here at Daytona. See a little bit of contact from the 2 into the 59. Around goes Caleb, and they had it, and then they didn't.
And then
hard into the wall. Demolish the 59 and ends the speed weeks for the 2 of Jeff Green. Whew. Well, this is going to be interesting now.
That is going to be very interesting.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and get one more break in and catch our breath before it really gets good. We'll be back shortly.
Have you ever just forgot to hold the brakes during a wreck? Are they just not able to pronounce your name in a race?
Paul Michelager.
Have you ever been wrecked by Chad? Hi, I'm Ray Bracey, and I'm here to share with you quick shifts. Watch all the highlights, lowlights, and other shenanigans in the top racing leagues, such as the Elite Racing League, and... But don't just take my word for it.
Before quick shifts, I was depressed. I wasn't able to relive my favorite moments from each race. Now with quick shifts, I can go out there and listen to all my favorite banter from the race while seeing all the crashes and good racing once again.
I don't remember life before quick shifts. I had to listen to Cameron Proke and Ty Mac and Cheese recap Oscar every week in the 3-Wide TV booth, but now, thanks to quick shifts, I actually enjoy my Oscar recaps.
So try quick shifts. You suffered through it one time, why not suffer through it again? Side effects of quick shifts include constipation, diarrhea, dizziness, dry mouth, abnormal heart rhythms, internal bleeding, numb tongue, unfiltered honesty, loud hiccups, laughing uncontrollably, mandatory dancing, midnight munchies, blue urine, red urine, no urine, and many more.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part? Every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Tickets are on sale now for the 10th Bomarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Sunday, June 7th features 3 huge races. The USAC Classic, Firestone Indy Next, and the only Sunday night prime time NTT IndyCar Series race. Enjoy a weekend of cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. The stars of the Indy 500 are coming to St. Louis. Get your tickets now and save big at WWTRaceway.com.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
All right, we are back, and you see Jordan Owens on pit road. Got a black flag for something that we don't know. It's interesting, and that might not be. This might be the end of the night and end of the road for the 04. Meanwhile, something else that was being discussed during the break, with Dustin Dora officially not being able to compete next Wednesday, if David Westergreen can finish third or better, then he will be the second open car advancing from this race. Assuming, of course, if Joshua Chin finishes in front of him and no other open cars finish in front of him. And the same thing goes for, I believe, a lot of the other open cars too, provided they qualified faster than Tyler Popp on speed. Basically, if you're an open car, you gotta finish at least second tonight if you're gonna get that extra golden ticket into next week's Daytona 500. Here we go, the pace car getting ready to make that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Joshua Chin will lead us to the restart zone. Green means go, and we are underway at Daytona. 2 laps to go in Duel 2. Big jump from Chin. Westergreen giving a huge shove to Daniel Falkingham. And Falkingham is not looking to pass that 93 at all whatsoever. That is interesting. I'm sure Westergreen was surprised by that, given how much he was shoving that 39 car. Westergreen dives down to the bottom. Dustin Dorr said no. What a move by the 32. But that things... Oh, we're wrecking!
Oh, they're not gonna make it.
Back in the back!
Or are they?
We're still green.
The white's down.
White flag. 1 lap to go in duel number 2.
Oh.
Wow, that is crazy. But meanwhile, Weeks is pushing Joshua Chin out in front. Westergreen is all alone. That has worked out very poorly for the 9. As you see, Falkingham jumps out. A block from Chin. And now Weeks is blocking Vandermarl. Here we are, coming off of turn 2. Chin all alone out in front. Falkingham jumps to the outside. It's going to be Joshua Chin who will win duel number 2. That's going to be interesting because he finished third. So if he qualified higher than Tyler Popp, he will get that spot.
I believe I just heard Chad say he's in.
Yes. 50.3
Alrighty.
with 50.456.
Man, what a run for Trey Eidson at the end of this race, and what a performance from Joshua Chin. Oh, but man, we have a lot to unpack. You see Joshua Chin getting that burnout going. Falkingham burning it down. And it does not look like he's gonna go to the flags like Dave asked.
Now here's an interesting celebration.
Backwards.
Yeah. a reverse Polish lap. It's interesting. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get him in the shot. There he is.
Yay, there he is.
Close enough.
Bye, Josh. Hope you find your dad.
I think the comedic effect makes that better, at least in my opinion.
Well, hopefully we'll get some finishers here in the waiting room momentarily. There you see the rundown from duel number 2. Josh Chen picking up the win. Daniel Falkingham, after missing the grid, finishing second. Trey Idson third. Matthew Weeks fourth. Justin Vandermeer fifth. David Westergreen sixth. Austin Abnett seventh. Jordan Owens eighth. Gavin Higgins ninth. Kel Pocock rounding out the top 10. First up, let's grab a word with Duel 2 winner, Josh Chen. And definitely a dramatic finish to that one, but at the end of the day, you win the duel, and you race your way into next week's Daytona 500. Josh, walk us through that last restart.
Me and Dan had a plan there, just kind of get together and hold the middle and let everything kind of come to us, and it worked out perfectly. The middle got the run that we needed. The bottom got bottled up, and I was able to cover Zeus on the top side, and we just kind of all ran our race and got where we needed. Got ahead of Trey, his top open car, which is all I really needed. The win was nice, but just being able to make it in the field and not be a week behind at the start is really nice.
And obviously, now you've done the hard part. You've raced your way into the Daytona 500. You'll get to start near the front of the field with this win. What's the strategy going into next Wednesday for 500 miles?
A lot of it's just going to be riding. I think with the way it races, you kind of have to have partners and try and find them through the race. So hopefully some of the guys I was working with tonight, we can work together again. But it's a long race. 500 miles here is a really long time to have a lot of things happen. And it's ultimately just being there at the end. Kind of, if you're up there and on the lead lap in the top 10, it's kind of anybody's game up there, and getting together with partners and just getting to that point is the biggest thing. It's a long race.
And before we let you go, who do you have to thank on this win tonight?
Big shout out to everyone, Channel 199, for having me in for this season. Shout out Paul, Ethan, Garrison, everyone working there, and shout out to Dan for working with me tonight. Appreciate it, and he really helped me get in there.
All right, there you have it. Josh Chen, winner of Duel 2 tonight. We will see you next Wednesday night in the Daytona 500. Best of luck.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll go ahead and grab a word as well with our second place finisher, Daniel Falkingham. Daniel, of course, qualified, fastest open qualifier, ensured his spot in the Daytona 500 that way, and then picks up the P2 the hard way after falling a lap down early. But all in all, still, you can't complain with a night like this, qualifying second in single car qualifying and then finishing second in your duel.
Yeah, I can't complain too much. Like you said, that wasn't the original plan to go a lap down, because I was making sure I had the right paint scheme on, because I didn't know we had to have, there was a series banner that we had to have on the car. So I was making sure that was loaded on, and I ended up missing the start. So, but thankfully we got the caution we needed to get up there and do a race a little bit. I mean, it didn't matter for us. We were already in the show thanks to qualifying. So, yeah, we're just out here having some fun and just kind of learning for next week. But, yeah, like I said, had to do it the hard way, but not how we drew it up, but we still got up front, led a lot of laps, and we were able to help Josh there get in the show right there as well. So, yeah, congrats to him, and congrats to everyone else who made it in as well.
You mentioned being able to learn a little bit on that last green flag run, fighting your way up to second. With that all, with those notes in hand, what's the game plan going into next week's 500?
Yeah, game plan is hopefully just start it out with a win. Because, there's going to be, everyone's going to be racing really aggressive, and especially when we get to the end of the race next week. So we're learning a little bit of, what to expect at the end of these races, because during this duel race, it was definitely way calmer than I thought it was going to be, and I think that's what you're going to see next week too, where it's going to be probably nice and calm at the start, just try and knock some laps out, and then once we get to the end, it's going to just get a lot of good points because we've got a good big old long season ahead of us, especially being as an open entry. It's going to be important to try to make all these races because there's no guarantee we're going to get in the show every single week. So definitely tonight was really key to get some points on the board with the top 10 getting points here in the duels. So it's going to be important to just try to carry that next week. But I mean, hey, it's the Daytona 500. We're going to be shooting for the win, pretty much going ball to the wall to get it.
And before we let you go, who do you have to thank on this effort tonight, qualifying your way into the Daytona 500?
Yeah, just and the whole group over here who puts the stuff on. Shout out to Chin. I was working with him and working with a few others there throughout the race. So glad Josh and I get a one too. We get both get in the show. Shout out to you guys broadcasting. Looking forward to go back and watch this broadcast. Know y'all do a good job over here. So looking forward to that. And thanks to everyone who came out and watched tonight. Hopefully we put on a good show, and hopefully we put on a good show next week as well.
All right, there you have it, Daniel Falkingham. We'll see you next week. Best of luck in the Daytona 500.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. So that puts a bow on things for us tonight, James. Obviously, next week, 7:30 p.m., Rev Limit Workshop, Daytona 500. Also, not necessarily Speed Weeks coverage, but tomorrow night we do have the P1 Broadcasting IndyCar Series from Twin Ring Motegi before we come back to Daytona for the Truck Series on Sunday and the Racecraft Grand National Series on Monday. We're definitely right in the throes of Speed Weeks. Unfortunately, with David Westergreen not qualifying, I think this means you're fired for next Wednesday. But thanks for coming up here, and I'll let you send us home here tonight.
Yes, sir. It was a lot of fun being part of this and part of the Cup Series Speed Weeks broadcasting. And you will hear me next for Monday's Grand National Series opener. But for tonight, I believe that just about does it. For my broadcast partners, Zach Evans and Dave Huckleberry, I'm James Watson, and we will bid you adieu till next week. Good night, everyone.